yet another Any Given Sunday. This is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And right now I have eight watching, so I hope you guys press like when you come in to watch this broadcast, and I hope that you can commit yourselves to, uh, if not watching like now, because I understand that it's Sunday night and a lot of us, have to go to bed and get ready to start yet another glorious week. But for all of you who have decided to, let me get my mouth a little closer to the mic. For all of you who decided to be here for another broadcast, thank you very much. And long live the habitual line steppers. We'll get some shout outs going. Absalom Pianki TV, The Village Arsonist TV, Can Seeing Red, uh, NYAS4W, Good Sound, says The Village Arsonist TV. Okay, title for tonight's Any Given Sunday is Hope Makes the Nice Guy Ruthless. Yeah, it's. I gotta be honest with some of you guys. My hope faded a long time ago. It doesn't eliminate the purpose for having these conversations. If for some as small as not having any hope in humanity. But with just some of the things that I see and the ability to program our people to an extent to where they won't even listen to people who care about them. That they'd rather listen to messages that are harmful and damaging to our people will make you abandon hope. And some of the shit that we co-sign with as a people, I can't lie to you guys. I mean, we call this brutally honest. So that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Unbelievable how counterproductive some of this shit is. And we just act like, okay. Yeah. So, if we want to talk about it in the aspect of social media, it's okay. Looking at it from a black man's perspective, it's impossible to have hope. Shit, I mean, and the whole purpose for a lot of us being here is to present that there is some ray of hope for us, and um, things can get better. So if I don't have any hope, what am I doing here? I don't know. I guess I just like the challenge. I like to dig in to see exactly why we sign up for such stupidity when it's so damaging to our people. I guess some of us feel as if it's too late and people should just roll with it. I don't want to roll with it, which means that I might be slightly lying to myself when I say that I've lost all hope in humanity. Might seem a despair point at this time, but one thing that a lot of people say about what we do here in our section of the manosphere is, I would say, preach hope. So we're going to tackle that. We're gonna tackle the fact that a lot of guys in the manosphere, because a good portion of us are 30 and above. The younger crowd, certain sections in this place will call you a hope preacher. Basically, let's resurrect the community. Let's save it. Let's get black man and black woman together and uplift black children as the beacon of the future. Which was I would say my perfect vision. Black man and black woman working together to uplift black children as our future, to carry on the race with pride. You would think that would be basic garden variety pro black vision. But due to a lot of the despair that's been going around, a lot of people just don't think that's a good idea anymore based on certain behaviors that are observed. And I'm really sorry that's happening right now. Uh, Seeing that we're supposed to be such a strong and resilient people who have persevered through many atrocities, but we can't even get through a conversation. Peace, Shaka Nulu. What's going on? Man, like I said, thank you for watching. If you are watching this or if you're new to this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. I do edited videos and I do these broadcasts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I'm going to work toward getting an earlier time slot. I think that'll be good for all and help me, solidify the nights. Uh, yes, but I do think the current support that I am getting without you guys, I'll still be Kevin. I'll just say that. You know, if if I lose hope and all, just know that I still will have me at the end of all of it, and you guys should too. You guys should too. Hopefully you see it that way. That's what being a survivor when you lose all hope is all about. But it's like, damn, it's it's like why don't we co-sign with stuff that makes more sense, that is less damaging to our blackness as a whole? Because I feel like if we keep going this dreaded path, we're not going to have much left. I mean, I was let's talk about the connected and the non-connected. Connected like is like people who are plugged into, I guess, conversations such as these, and then there's the non-connected, who is basically a generation of people who have rolled with the societal norms and quips and the status quo that is presented by I will say the mainstream media. The non-connected. Try having a conversation with a non-connected person like this, and you will be dismissed so fast and gaslighted and told certain things. And I mean, most of the time it be family members that do this stuff. I mean, we'll complain about the very issues that we speak on, and then when you give your take, then it's the let's just get the quote unquote cookie cutter solution. Just call the cops. Just call the cops. I mean, I guess with some instances it's necessary because some people just want to be bothered. But as a man, you should always be set up to protect your family at any given rate, at any cost. Yeah, the world don't have to be completely hopeless. You don't have to be completely pessimistic. I always forget where this saying came from. I don't know. I think I heard it in church when I was younger. And the saying is, life does suck. I think I've said this before. Life does suck, but it's up to you on a day to day basis how much it sucks. Just when you go into this very week right here, uh, as we expect the unexpected once again. Just think about it. Okay, life does really does fucking suck. I mean, we are in a state of mind which I have never seen before. It's not something I expected growing up into as an adult. I'm saying, so you started to think that certain people lied to you. It's like, damn, why didn't you tell me about this shit? That certain things was gonna happen. Why did you just expect me to figure it out? Luckily, I did. figure out that there's a lot of bullshit. People talk about red pill, like stuff like that. It's like I had an age where I knew I was red pill, or I knew I was red pill here and there, and all this other stuff. I mean, if we want to talk in that context, I've probably been red pill ever since I was 7, 8. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not giving myself credit just because I was a wise ass child. No, I thought when I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things, and well, then childish things became adult things like video games. And video games was never really a childish thing, though. I mean, everybody thinks that a cartoony image of any kind is for, yeah. That's another discussion. We talking about hope and lack thereof and stupid shit that you see. Yeah, yeah. Listening to BGS earlier. Uh, he had some good points in his video. Basically, talking of and speaking of, in order for this to be a community, it's going to have to stop with the constant beefing, the 10 years of videos against each other, the doxing, all the other stuff. Like, we truly in this space cannot turn up and really solve these problems and nip shit in the bud because there are a bunch of people that just want to keep shit up and want to make people's lives hell because they decided to step on this platform and speak. You know, this is the kind of abandonment of hope that I'm talking about. It's like me personally, and I know that when you're talking to an audience of people, you can't always say me personally. I just But me personally, I just think it'll be a better place if you know people didn't do that. If that we can turn up and people can, if you lose a point of view or you're just flat out wrong, just concede. It ain't like people, and I don't understand people when we do this. We're so mad that we got proven wrong that we have to fight and fight this person and fight this person and fight this person and fight this person. And I'm sure you know a couple of people that are in this space that are like that. Or if you've been in social media in other areas, you know of other people that are like that too. They become your nemesis, your antithesis, your rival, or whatever the case may be. I don't think a rival would do some bitch ass shit like just dox or anything. I think a rival that's more of a respect thing. But see, that's another thing. We don't respect each other. We think. I mean, you earn somebody's respect, but you don't give them disrespect up until that point because a lot of people feel like that the respect part is a paid for effort, or the respect part is somebody got to scrape and crawl to get you to, I don't know, notice their greatness or whatever. I don't know. I guess that's why I don't chase down content creators and just be like, man, what's hey, uh, don't. I mean, just be your own. If push comes to shove, okay. So let me see what's going on in this chat. Okay. Shakanulu, I was 6. That was your red pill moment. Sir Anthony, hurry up and buy what's going on. uh, Raven Knight, what's going on? We're talking about hope. What is up with that shit? Being a hope preacher. Hopefully, hopefully we can get to the bottom of certain things like we try to do with each of these broadcasts. If you are watching, hopefully you have pressed that like button. See how many likes I got real quick. Yeah, it's still. All right, 18 likes. That makes me happy. So, but I got 24 watching. So, if you're watching this stream, uh, it's likely that you haven't hit that like button yet. So go ahead, let's get those likes up. Uh, yeah. So, um, if you are a content creator, or if you're just a person that watch these broadcasts and participate in the chat, because I see the chats. I mean, it is just as important as the broadcasts themselves, because there's so much meeting of the minds, I would say. So and I see you guys in different places, so you're just as much of a show as someone like the host and the panel itself. Of course, it's of course I'm the centerpiece, or any of the content creators on their respective platforms are the centerpiece. But you guys make all the difference. It's like an HBCU football game. It's like a lot of people go to HBCU football games to watch the bands. At least, that's what it was for me. Even though you're supposed to be there to watch the football team and watch two teams clash and play their hearts out to win the game for their schools, you watched. I used to be there fully to watch the bands go at it. The dancing girls, the baton twirlers, the drum majors, or is even the band director who conducts the band when they're playing the music. But each section going at it. Like each section is their own little band. Like the tuba section, they would play their little they would play their songs, and the drum lines were very interesting to watch too and listen to. It was a certain, like, when we interject ourselves as black people into anything, it has its own little flavor, and that flavor is potent enough to become tradition. And I don't know why we as a people aren't more proud of that. I don't understand why we aren't getting. I mean, I know why we're not getting that feeling anymore. It's our pride is gone. I mean, pride is a word that is heavily used for another group of interest, that have different interests than us as black people, or well, a lot of black people are in that category, but it's like black. I would say, let's. A lot of know who I'm talking about. Black pride. Like when we injected ourselves into something, you knew it was us, and it was some cool shit, and it felt great to be a part of and actually be born as. I've never been ashamed to be black, ever. I know that a lot of behavior that comes from a lot of black people is embarrassing, and that's why we're speaking of hope, you know, in this broadcast, because when a lot of us look at this behavior and some of the things that these people say, you're just like, wow, how can you have hope? It's like too many people are like this. Too many. Too many people are just fucked up. So what do? We just accept it? We just keep having these conversations, or are we going to do something about it? This is likely, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is likely to get a lot worse before it gets better. This is going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. Yeah, this whole black manosphere thing is getting cranked up. It's interesting to see where it's going to end up a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. What it will evolve into? Will something else take its place and grow from there? It's an interesting thing, because you have more young black men. Well, black men of age ranges all age ranges coming in to participate and to make sure this thing stays afloat. And you gotta appreciate at least that. That gives me some hope. But when somebody tries to take place, sorry, when someone, I would say, tries to take that away, then that's where that ruthless comes in. I don't know, ruthless just sounds like a cool word. I like the use of the word. Like even with Ruthless Records, I like Ruthless Records when it was NWA and Eazy full force. You know, ruthless. Two words. Put those together. Hope and ruthless. Well, how those two words relate to each other? It does my remaining hope in humanity make me the most ruthless person ever? I mean, I'm not saying something like violently and bloody ruthless because I'd be locked up in a prison somewhere. I'm talking about more like the ruthlessness that is the resolve for that you have for common sense. And you don't have to be a nasty person to be able to pull off a coldness. Cold as in COLDNESS. You have to be a bit cold with it. That's a lot of these simps. They aren't cold people. You know, they're not cold people either. CODE. They don't have the ruthlessness to pull off what needs to be done. They're pretty those guys are pretty comfortable in their moistness. You know, stay if you're any kind of person, especially you listen to these broadcasts, stay away from the moistness. You're just but you gotta have the ruthlessness and efficiency to pull this off. Like I don't know. I guess when you can say something like I give you an example. When females show up to panels and they're being purposefully disruptive, the worst idea for I would say a ruthless nice guy is to feed into it. To keep feeding it, feeding it, and feeding it, and then it just grows and grows, and then all of a sudden she's taking over. You know, make sure that bitch figures out your position from the start. I mean, you ain't even got to call her a bitch to do it. I just want to let you know if you are a female and you do show up to a panel or to a chat acting like all get out, I would say, then the word, and you can rest assured, if we're not saying it, is inside our brain. That word, bitch. So I mean, it's that I guess that's just me. People would often say I had something called dry humor. It was flat like a Coke that's been sitting out for 3 days. That's just how it is with me because it's like I don't go into situations expecting people to be all that smart anymore. And you know, I understand that there are people that are more intelligent than I am, but I would do so, and I'm guilty of this, and you know, females are guilty of this too. And it's like I'm not trying to be female like, so let's throw that bullshit out. But I have a tendency to kind of test people, see where their heads are, see where the conversation goes. That's a little secret about me. So I'll throw out something like, say for instance, like, and you can try this too, and but don't make it so obvious. Say something like, it seems like when a mother has a son, it seems like they get a little out of control, something like that. Say something to that effect. Like, you know, say something like they're pampering their sons and their sons just kind of seem to have discipline problems, and see how people respond to you just saying that. I mean, if you're not already a person that just this will work more for people who don't usually bring these conversations up or just being introduced to manosphere type conversations. Try to um, take like at least that little small point to a bunch of people you were used to talking to and just listen for the reaction. And then you'll get a gist of what we're talking about. If they're on this basically like, yeah, yeah, I do notice that little kids they bad as fuck when, when they are raised by their mommy, then they might be on a little something. But if they're like, uh, well, we don't know that. Sometimes two parent homes, they're bad and all this other, if they start doing that, then you'll know, then I mean, people who watch this are pretty smart. Some little question mark, but for the most part, we have a pretty um, intellectual group of people who watch these broadcasts and other, not in the space. I'm speaking in terms of in the space. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in this space that know how to put a sentence together, especially in the chats. So why did you come here if you're a content creator? You know, mine is make sure that a black man's perspective was out there and to let you know that it ain't what people say it is. We ain't just like when we get a woman pregnant. I know that a few guys are like they don't do what they're supposed to do, but for the most part, for those of us who are having the kids, we aren't like that. We take the bull by the horns and we do what we need to do to make sure we can be there as much as possible for our child. uh, it's kind of a little, convenient for me because, I'm in a family arrangement. But for some others, a lot don't consider that there are a lot of men out there who didn't get married that go through a lot of things to try to be with their child. I mean, like we never take that under consideration. We always go with the deadbeat dad. He's never there. Blah blah blah. Oh, we feel sorry for you, woman. We when you should be asking about the condition of the child. When do you ever do that? When you know that she's a single mother, do you ever ask about the condition of the child? You don't even have to straight up just be like, "Oh, the condition of the child." What about the child or something like that? You just be like, "Hey, how's the kid doing? Everything all right?" you know, and just see how they respond. I mean, you can see it. If she has a certain behavior, you can almost guarantee how the child is doing. Especially the way how some express themselves in these spaces. You'll be scared for that child. It's like, damn, if your mama acted like this, imagine what home life is like. Don't use the excuse. Oh, it's just YouTube. It's just Facebook. It's just Twitter. It's all this other stuff. Some of the shit that y'all say, some of the shit these women say, and they got sons and they got daughters and shit. You see why there's a lot of things that have gone south in this community, Western culture. I mean, these things that we talk about. I mean, if you can say they're mass generalizations if you want to, but this is going past mass generalization. These are some actual problems now. All because of the, I don't know. I was hoping for a better world. I would say that. I was hoping for. I was hoping for us since we had been through all of that shit. You know, it's ever since our inception into this country. I would hope that we could conduct ourselves in a much better fashion, but you know that hope is gone. It's just like I'm just waiting for some shit to hit the fan at this point. I'll say that. But anyway, I'm gonna open this up. I'm open the panel up. Open the panel up. Pet weight boy, my own dad, a deadbeat. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I had my father. I don't know what that's like, so I can't speak on it too much. Um, well, I mean, if you impregnate a woman, you know, and she decides to keep the baby, if you don't like her, at least plan on having some access to the child. It ain't gotta be. It ain't gotta be all that. But you know, but the point is, if everybody, you know, I need for you guys to understand that is a problem if you are a man that is like that, just sitting up here just impregnating women and shit. You know, that's that if you impregnate a woman and based on the evidence that you see presented and you don't plan on being there, you can possibly put that child in a situation to where they have a mother that comes on these platforms bad mouthing motherfuckers all the time. Yeah, yeah. Let's get some clarity on deadbeat real quick. And yeah, context. A deadbeat dad, to me, is a guy that is just he made the baby, but he's just not there financially or present at all. Really, I mean, not a guy that just comes through every year, just gives you a high five, and then is gone. Um, Someone who doesn't attempt to have a relationship with the child. Um, a lot of the times, in a lot of cases, uh, the child doesn't understand that the mother is making it difficult for the dad to have a relationship, but with the child. But I don't know. I'm just glad I'm not in that situation. I will have to actually talk to a man who is in this situation where he has a child and it's the baby mama who is making it impossible to see that child. I would need to talk to a person like that. But I understand that if there's any fight to be put up at all, if you didn't put up that fight, then it's your fault as a man. And if you're not putting up a fight after you made a child, unless there was some type of agreement, like you sign your rights away, something like that. Which I've known one guy ever that has done that, that has signed his rights away and does not have a relationship with the child. That to a point could be devastating, but that's on the conscience of the parents involved. How can you agree to something like that? But unless it's that circumstance right there, if you're just flat out not doing anything for the child, you don't want to have a relationship with the child based on anything, and or you're not trying, and you're not giving any money in, and the custodial parent, the mother, has opened all the doors for you to have a relationship with your child. So, with that context, if he doesn't do any of that, then he's a deadbeat. All right.
What's going on, my man?
What's up, Donnie?
Living my best life, yeah, man. How you living?
Yes. Uh, I am living and appreciate each breath I take at this point. What about yourself?
Man, I'm just doing my thing. I'm actually doing some research. I'm finna buy an old school car, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to figure out what model it is and what I could do to it and shit. So yeah, finna go out and go cop this old school.
What is it?
Uh,
What year and all that?
It's an '83 El Camino.
Oh, boxy, boxy. Yeah,
83.
already.
Damn, 83 is that's
hmm
that's. Wow, that's antique already.
Yeah.
Ain't it? Ain't that about a bitch? 83.
Hey, 1983. My first car was a 1983 Chevrolet Malibu.
Damn, what that look like?
Hey, let me tell you,
Wait,
you know how them you know how them box Caprices were?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were just kind of a shorter version of them.
Yeah. Boxy.
Yeah,
Already. I had a 77 uh SS Chevy Impala. That shit was dope.
yeah.
oh, that nigga, yeah, you was pushing him with
See,
that 77. That motherfucker was clean.
Yeah,
yeah,
that shit was dope.
well, I had put in like shortly before the CD came out. I had put in the pull-out cassette player.
I mean Caprice, my bad, not Impala. It was
you
it
was
was it
doing
was
big.
it was a Caprice. It was a
Oh, the
77
Caprice.
Caprice. It was
I
Caprice.
said, oh
Yeah.
yeah, but that's some cold shit though. If you did that motherfucker right, I mean, but
Oh,
I'm actually
cuz.
looking for a Caprice right now. I'm trying to get it for Pops. He wants a 74 Caprice Classic
Word.
convertible. And them motherfuckers is hard as hell to find. I found a shell that was pretty much destroyed. This motherfucker wanted 8,000 for it.
Yeah. Yo, Caprices are the J's of the car world, cuz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm hoping I catch an old motherfucker slipping like I did with this El Camino.
Caprices and certain years, I think was a 92 Accord SE or something like that. Or no-
92 cool.
Mhm. Them shit's worth a lot of money.
yeah, that Malibu, that me and that Malibu had been through some things, man. It's like I remember I had another motor dropped in it, but I had a shade tree mechanic do that shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Something
so,
rickety and rackety. It
so
worked. It ran, but
yeah,
what sound did it make?
whew, every time I shut that motherfucker off, it'll be like do 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 do, and then it'll backfire. It'll have a loud
Nigga,
ass
like
backfire.
said, they
I mean,
shooting in the neighborhood again. No, that's just
It
that's
made your shit
I'm
into a
not doing
jalopy, nigga.
man, I'm real.
The
I remember me and some homies were coming from the club in the car, man. So we stopped at the Crystal because we had munchies because we had
Yeah,
fired
yeah.
that. Man, we used to ride and smoke all the time in that car. I
Back in the
mean,
day, that
yeah,
killer.
yeah, hell yeah. That started. It was my uncle that like it was originally my uncle's car, like
Mhm.
my old ass uncle. Like, well, I mean, much respect to Uncle Walt, but
Right.
he died in like '87. Like that was his last car. So
Mm.
they gave the car to, once he died, gave the car to my mother, and my mother drove it for a little while, and then she gave it to me as first car. It was a pretty good little first car, but when I replaced that motor, it just did what the fuck it wanted to do.
Oh damn.
It got me around Little Montgomery, Alabama, but it was just every time I shut it out, it was like bam, like I be looking around to see if anybody outside, like
They shooting!
Hilarious.
yeah,
Get down, cuz. Get down, man.
yeah, but
Yeah, man. Them cars is dope, but the reason I like those older cars is there's something that you can work on and it's easy. I got a hybrid. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at when I'm looking through that hood.
Good motherfucking luck, shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at this motherfucker like I ain't touching none of this shit. That old 83 El Camino, I'll build that motherfucker from top to front because I know I can go get the manual and the manual's gonna tell me where I'm fucking up at.
Yep. Basically, it'll be just like a one of them projects from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? People that put cars, little models together or something like that. Just a large scale of that shit.
Right. That's exactly what I'm doing. As soon as I get it, I'm finna gut the interior out and I'm gonna replace it all myself. With the exception of the seat, because I don't sew.
I'm about to say, you gonna do upholstery too, nigga? God damn, this nigga cold,
all right, guys. Shout out to Kareem Henry for the super chat. Thank you. She says my auntie brought her Malibu for like $50 back in the day. LOL. Yes. Yeah. See, I like your auntie already. But yeah, she just gave me that super chat, and she one of two things can happen. either she can think about, the broadcast like where she was the only one that gave a super chat. Remember that broadcast where I was the only one that gave a super chat, or you watching can run that for her. So, super chat is active, and Cash App scrolling across the bottom of the screen, that's active as well. So, but the topic for tonight is hope makes the nice guy ruthless, which is basically it's a theme conversation, but we can go other places with it as well. So
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was wanting to ask you about that. Like, what is the factor of hope as far as like where's its relevance within it?
I don't know, man.
Because I was thinking the whole aspect of hope for the nice guy, the ruthlessness of the nice guy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's something that replaces it's something that replaces the hope once it's gone. Yeah.
Okay. So the ruthlessness. Okay.
Yeah.
So is hope deferred makes the nice guy ruthless.
yeah. I mean, let me put it to you like this. I thought of this topic like 2 hours ago, and I was just like, okay, how am I going to approach this? But I've always think of a way to get through it. I just think it's a cool title, but at the same time, it's like when I look at this community and when I look at people when they express their thoughts, the hope is just leaving right now. It is the shit that we co-sign with sometimes is phenomenally ridiculous.
The thing is, you're not really supposed to have hope. You're not because the thing is, like okay, if the conditions show, or should I say, a history of hope being fulfilled. All right, so if hope is there, has hope been there before? Yes, it has. All right. Yeah. Usually, what people request of hope is for hope to be fulfilled. Was the previous hope fulfilled? And say, look, all you gotta do is take a look at the history and be like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Damn, all right. None of that shit got fixed. What, from when? 1963? Really? None of that fixes? Okay. Well, so then you gotta ask, what type of hope is it then? You know what I'm saying? Is it blind hope? Is it tactical hope? What type of hope is it?
I don't know. Is hope is hope for the future. I will put it like that. If you have a child, or if you're just living and breathing, and you're a productive human being, and you care, you do have some hope. So, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I could just be lying to myself.
You're speaking of your broadcast, dog, man. Your notifications suck, man. So, so how I feel being in the shadow realm. How I feel.
Shut up. I knew it was a risk. I knew it was a risk when I put black men on this YouTube channel title. Yeah. I knew it was a risk because they, first of all, like by default, oh yeah, and by the way, Cash App, Village Arsonist TV. Thank you. And the Village Arsonist can also remember this broadcast as the one where he was the only one that did a Cash App. So you can also ruin that for him as well. So Cash App is active, Super Chat is active. Thank you, Corrine Henry and Village Arsonist. That really, honestly, when I see stuff like that, it really humbles me. So, and it lets me know that good people are still out there. There is hope. There's hope. Yeah. So, like Absalom Pianki TV, are you hopeful or hopeless? What do you say to something like that, fellas?
Me personally, I'm hopeless. There is no hope in my body at all whatsoever. That shit's gone. All it is practice and preparation for me at this point. The hope went out the window a long time ago, and if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So where I'm at with it is, if you do everything you need to do, it's gonna prep for it. I've done all the work. I made the shit happen. Hope, to me, in my is wishing on the star that the right way. That long gone out my system. It's like that Michael Jackson video where that nigga, it's a shooting star.
Yeah.
Then he turned into the Transformer nigga. He turned to the car. nigga, hope was gone for me when that aired. When that aired, and that nigga was going out his way to say the little white girl, hey, it was over. Nigga. Listen, Michael, your ass is from Indiana, and it wasn't a nigga to be saved in that. Okay, baby.
Real talk, cuz.
You good?
Hold on, Gurry, Indiana, nigga, Gurry, Indiana.
Nigga, I heard your favorite restaurant was KFC, nigga. I'm real disappointed in you, my nigga. There's no more hope, nigga. I'm hopeless, nigga.
Yeah, well, I guess if you want to get into the Peel conversation about it, and by the way, Absalom Payanki's TV, that's a cool little logo you got there. Did you draw that up yourself?
Psychedelic, baby bubba.
Yeah, but
make them act like they know, baby bubba.
All right, but what about you, Darth Tulsa?
All right, so Jeff Brown says hope is a 4-letter word in his house that people only use when they don't plan well enough. As Air Mattress Papi just expressed to us an aspect of his planning intent to overcome things, right? So in the aspect of hope, I think you start hoping when you don't think there's anything else that you can do. But with me, I taught myself, or should I say, I brainwashed myself into believing there's always a way when I was little. Always. There's always a way. There's never a time when we're ever really truly without. As long as you can think, there is always a motherfucking way. Especially the way my motherfucking brain works, nigga. It's Jimmy Neutron over here, cuz.
Right. You got to make it happen at all costs.
If you got to make it happen, you got to make it happen. This is the thing, Again, what if the threat was a motherfucking Tyrannosaurus?
Oh shit!
What you know what I mean? What if that was? What if that was the crisis?
Occasion. You gotta run the fuck away if you can.
Yeah, people
zigzag and shit.
People holler WS and racism and all that. It's like, man, look, all I do is just switch the motherfucking nature of the threat. I don't give a fuck about the people, the culture, skin color, all that shit. No. All right, is this motherfucker more threatening than the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Fuck no. All right, so let's just Bobby Boucher this shit. And you know what I'm saying? Let's see if I can get my nuts about myself. Let's get this shit cracking. Shit. I don't even know what it means. It don't make no sense to me personally.
I mean,
it's kind of like an oxymoronic context to even be within this dimension, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. So let me read this comment from Rob Black. By the way, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. There is no hope for the Black community. Your hope has to be in yourself. Deal with like-minded people, and that is it! Exclamation point.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way you can move in this reality that we live in. This is it's some sad shit, but hope is what we got with Obama, right?
Oh,
we
God.
hope this God.
Right? He actually put the shit on the motherfucking ballot. It was on the poster. Hope was on the fucking poster. They were saying vote on hope. And that's exactly what a fucking vote is. A hope or a wish.
Let me tell you a little story I got about the word hope. All right. I'm walking through the hallway of a congregation. It's like, where they call it like a student rec center. I used to go to Alabama State University's campus when I was younger quite frequently. Just walk through the campus, walk through the rec center. So there was a poster. It was about AIDS and HIV positive. It was a little cartoon. It was a little cartoon of people in bed. They were seemingly like having sex, and they were both thinking. He was like, I hope she doesn't have AIDS. And then she was thinking, I hope he doesn't have AIDS. And then the bottom of the poster had this statement in it, is like in all capital letters. You can't live on hope.
All right, that's clever.
You can't live on hope, y'all.
That's
I mean,
clever. No,
I'm gonna put that in the chat.
yeah, you cannot live on hope. You can't, man. Because look, the way that this world is designed, you must overcome shit. That's what evolution is. That's all evolution is. It's overcoming. That's it. Leveling up through resilience. Now, the fact that there is the fact that the phenomenon of resilience is present means that there is an opposing force. Now, you might have an opposing force. This, this could be natural, could be cosmic, could be, what I'm saying, malevolent or whatever. The whole thing is it must come through resilience, and resilience means you must effort against. So that means you got to build up some courage, you got to build up some skill, you got to build up some strategy. You have to be dynamic. That's the whole static shit. Hope leave motherfuckers static, and all they do is wait. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for Jesus to come through, or whoever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Ethereal, anthropomorphized cosmic being to come put a hand here, say, "Hey, y'all stop this shit."
Oh shit!
You talking about Joe Biden at this point? Because that's who Jesus is. A lot of niggas. Joey and Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah, he issued out he issued reparations payments to Tulsa survivors, right?
In the form of what?
New shit. What did he give about some?
I'm gonna get pissed. Let me get my drink right now. Let me get my stank right now. All right, let's hear this bullshit.
Sound foreign as fuck to me. He was giving out lotto tickets. What was the
nigga giving out? The fuck? What they give him?
All right, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I pull it up.
Nigga, that just blew my mind.
Nigga, I don't be paying no attention to none of this shit, dog. Because it's, what I'm saying. Look, you see the mask, you see the face, nigga. That's what my piece is right now. That's where the fucking piece is, motherfucker.
Nigga, I need to go check my ancestry, see if any of my relatives was in Tulsa. Nigga, I need to get some.
Dog. They must really want me to burn this motherfucker to the ground, cuz they better not be fucking around. Nigga, I told myself second grade, if these motherfuckers ever get out of pocket to a degree like that, yeah, nigga, hit all the motherfucking liquor stores that they put around your hood, light them motherfuckers up and light that shit up. And the only thing that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, be able to own this motherfucking ground is if you can hold this fucking 10, goddammit. What the fuck you looking like, Peel?
Hey, but this is why you always, look it up, because and not believe everything that you read on Facebook or something like that. Because I typed it in Google, and this is the first article that I found. Biden privately tells lawmakers not to expect much on reparations legislation.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
that's a given. But then the court, the ball is in black folk court, and what they finna do? You know what I'm saying? What they finna take them to the United Nations or something?
They finna pass it to the other team and say, "Hey, please just don't dunk on us."
I swear to God, because if these motherfuckers really start giving other motherfuckers reparations like that, nigga. Oh shit, this shit getting ready to be fun. This shit is getting ready to be fun, and I'm going Cali active, nigga. Believe it.
What? They gonna do some slick shit. We gotta give the Asian American reparations because
please go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Stoke this motherfucking fire. Come on, you greedy, dirty devil motherfucker. Yeah, come on through this shit. Let's get it over with. It's the end game, goddammit. Do the most dumb thing that you motherfuckers can think to do and ignite everybody. Go ahead. Come on.
All right. Okay. Shout out to Sir Anthony for telling the village arsonist that you're not the only one that's going to give Kev a cash app tonight. So thank you, Sir Anthony, for your support of the channel.
And yo, you got an honorable name, Village Arsonist. Go ahead, nigga. Hashtag Anarchist Cookbook, nigga. Page 47. Man. How many ways did you send a car to hell?
but any contribution is very generous, guys. I really do appreciate it. I really do. That's cool shit. So, Sir Anthony, Village Arsonist, and Kareem Henry, thank you. So, all right. But you know, this as far as other payments that are owed to us as a people, Biden, I'm not going to expect much movement from any administration at this point, because
because they ain't got the motherfucking funds, cuz they ain't got the funds, so they would have to open up the infrastructure, and that's what they've been trying to keep from doing the entire time.
They got the funds. If they spending billions on,
they ain't got the funds for that.
If they spending trillions, I said billions, but if they spending trillions on the military application and all the bullshit that comes with it, you out here sending payments to motherfucking India for the transgenders and whatnot.
How much you think they owe, dog? Really? How much do you think they owe?
To be honest with you, if we really just calculated, it would be a couple trillion, right?
I've seen numbers as high as around 57
trillion.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my thing with it. Just like they bust this money out in stimulus packages, they could do this.
And then he started borging.
How convenient. Yo.
How convenient.
But yeah, they could drop us off a payment in a couple of installments, and they can make this shit right. And really, everybody's got an issue with how would they do it and everything else. To be honest, it would be very fucking simple, very fucking clear. You run down the line, you check motherfuckers who have been claiming black on they taxes, on their driving records. So when they go get a driver's license, check the box black. A motherfucking census, you check the box black. Okay, cool. You doing your taxes? Okay, we can go ahead and go through. We can check your family lineage, everything else. Nigga, your people came from Africa. Your people came from Haiti. Nigga, you don't get a check. you don't qualify, because that's gonna shut a lot of niggas out, right?
Okay, but see, you're looking at it from as if only the government got something to do with it. Remember what Obama said. The reason why he didn't, really speak on it, because he knew it upset voters. That's what he said. Upset voters. All right, what type of voters, motherfucker?
There were certain institutional fixes in place that didn't allow me to say certain things.
See, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, right? A lot of people, when they think about racism, they usually think about, as Patrice O'Neal said, rest in honorable peace, the frothing at the mouth races. And it ain't the so-called WSs that you pay attention to. You pay attention to the pilgrims who say they ain't racist. And then you ask them the question, does the United States have a problem with racism? Yes, they do. Is it a big problem or a little problem? It's a big problem. Okay. What are the concepts of racism? What are the factors involved? Well, it's a power dynamic. Power dynamic consisting of what? Primarily two parties, right? One party with color, one party without color. Well, what is the sub-dynamics of those parties? Okay, well, one is ruling the society and the other one is super serving the society. All right, cool. That's what it is. All right, well, is there more of those who are ruling the society that has that sentiment than don't? No, because you meet 10 pilgrims, 9 of them gonna tell you they ain't racist. You lucky, you might get one that'll own up to it. So you mean to tell me that the larger percentage of non-racist pilgrims is permitting the much smaller minority percentage of racist pilgrims to hold key positions of influence within the society, especially when interacting with us? And none of them racist, and they the ones that we ain't supposed to point the finger to, but they're the larger fucking population. They benefit off the shit, yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
That's how they keep you in an inferior position, and they stay superior, right? If you look at look at Florida. Florida has kicked out critical race theory.
Right.
All that means is
They
they don't
passed that
talk
shit
about,
there.
yeah. What that means is they don't talk about race in the way it should be talked about. They don't talk about the history of the bullshit that they did in the way it should be talked about. They talk about it like, hey, yeah, that shit happened. Get over it, nigga. Get over it, nigga.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the way, it wasn't this bad. We was throwing jamborees for you niggas. We gave y'all butter biscuits. Really, y'all should low key want to be slaves, but y'all not. So get over it. And
You know what? That's actually a good thing, though. I understand a lot of people are fighting against it, but the thing is, it's actually a good thing. These people are putting forth all types of perspectives that they can to try to sanitize their past, in the words of Phil Valentine. They're trying to sanitize their history. They're trying to sanitize their history. Now they can't. They can't do it. You can't do it in the age of information. You desperate motherfuckers.
Sanitizing, trying to say, hey, y'all, real quick. Sanitizing and trying to whitewash. Now, I got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
What if Martin Luther King was alive today? And like I said, with the access to the information, I think I got a good idea. So we have hit our first hour of BMBBH. More after this.
I'll put up that.
my nigga, nigga, I'm jealous than motherfucker. Nigga, you next level in this bitch.
It's a show, folks. It's a show. Here we go. Here we go. Donate. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga is next level. Now,
yes.
Hold on.
Support your weekend warriors, goddammit. Support your weekend warriors like y'all do y'all scholars.
I want to get to the fuckery of this. This nigga asked if MLK was still alive. MLK, if he was still alive, he would have a white woman right now.
What?
I didn't stutter, goddammit.
Boy, you ain't shit.
You ain't shit for what? If MLK was still alive, he would have a white woman. And he'd be telling niggas, listen, I crossed the barriers. I got that nigga.
I seen a snow bunny, bitch. She was nicer than all the black bitches that you look over on the hillside.
You just got to
came through with an apple pie. I said, hey, bitch, I prefer sweet potato.
hey man, but for real, they be making YouTube videos about him. Man, you ain't black for real, man.
Oh hell no.
Man, what the hell you doing, man? You got you a white bitch.
look, that shit don't matter no more. If we was in the 80s, okay, yeah, I give you that shit. But wait a minute, man. You didn't watch the so-called caretakers or the curators of our culture give these motherfuckers so much of it, they just gave it to them. So it's like, all right, they ain't supposed to. You already know they studying us. You already know they kind of, empty as fuck within spiritually. So if you're going to give them this shit, you can't get mad when they really, start cracking the codes and using and being able to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, white bitches is donkey now. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, wait a minute. How's you naturally being able to compete with a black woman in that regard? Really? Now, it ain't, the lot of them, but nigga, I done seen some white bitches like, God damn, white bitch, really?
Uh-huh. Yep, and they know what the fuck they got too. And it's funny because they used to be the ones who used to be like, oh yeah, I'm down with the cause. Word, my nigga, bitch, what you say? Right? But now you got Taylor Swift looking white bitches that are thick as fuck. Right? Yeah. You have Taylor Swift.
Hey, that's a pretty white bitch too. You know what I'm saying? Taylor Swift is a pretty white bitch.
But they're super Caucasian with like, oh yeah, no, no, I've never had sweet potato pie. But I know about pumpkins. And she will have a ass that is out of this world.
Out of the world, yeah.
Wait.
Stick it in all Magic City. You know what I'm talking about?
Suck dick like a white girl. You suck dick like a white girl, and you're sniffing. I'm having problems here. Sharkeisha, what was you need money for what? Your hair and nails. Oh, you know what? I'll let you later, baby girl. Making my way downtown, walking by. Come on, Brenda.
You a fool,
You-
cuz. You a fucking fool, dude.
Hey y'all, we got Nameless up here though.
Black
What's
man
going
is
on?
still honor. What it do, cuz?
The Nameless
What's going
protagonist.
on?
Os.
Whoos.
Well, I came in on the topic a little earlier. I was busy doing my meal when y'all were chopping it up. And I remembered something I wrote as an aside for the fictional series I'm doing, the Nameless Swordsman.
Fictional my ass. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I can't help it if a lot of this shit's starting to happen in real life, fam.
Yes,
It's
sir.
crazy. But nah, like I wrote this particular entry. It's much further along in the series when he's more advanced, and he's kind of having a. This is an introduction to a chapter where the theme behind it is hope, and at this point, the character is kind of seen as a villain, but he just is approaching it from a different perspective. If it's cool, I'll go ahead and read that if you don't mind, Kev.
Shit, I want to hear this shit, Kev.
Sure.
Can we do that?
Go ahead.
All right. It starts. To whoever needs to hear this, hope, in its raw form, is typically nothing more than madness and delusion, backed by consensus of others or the insistence of a particular individual. At its core, it provides a reason to act in the face of reality, or rather, in spite of reality. Any attempt to speak otherwise when the course of hope is set is considered nihilistic. Nihilism, at face value, is merely addressing the truth. It is, however, human nature to struggle with truth, and thus add and subtract from that reality to fit a particular narrative, making these individuals just as delusional in despair as those drunk with hope. One should simply do their best to see things for what they are and respond accordingly. But you see it, don't you? The age-old struggle between light and dark, that which defines structure and that which defies it. There are those tools to deal with the unknown, and what unites hope and despair is ultimately fear of the unknown. Some believe anger, be it righteous fury or berserking rage, dispels fear when all they are affirming to is truth, their truth, the truth that their minds are capable of reaching. Clarity, stillness, none is greater than or less than. It's merely that a course has been set and they move forwards donning both the mantle of hero or villain, both things decided normally upon the consensus of those who observe them. This is a pattern that rears its head so often in human behavior. So in the case for me, I shrug off the delusional insistences of the darkness claiming to end all things in some nihilist apocalypse, as if it were some kind of revelation. And so too do I cast off the yoke of toxic positivity with its good intentions, end quote. I have learned far too often that you can do no good if you're not aware of the evil you can potentially wrought. Call me evil if you like, but it's why I walk alone. However, that doesn't mean that I'm lonely. It's quite the opposite. Most times I tend to pity others as, in the midst of delusion, they find themselves surrounded by others, yet most assuredly not alone. But at the same time, they are some of the most lonely individuals I have ever witnessed.
So you're saying one can actually achieve clarity, and be careful how you answer this because I value your word, cuz. Achieve clarity through berserkerism.
Here's what I said. It can be a dispelling of fear.
Yes.
That's the point.
That's what it's always been for me as a child. I never got scared. I never got scared with nothing. I always got angry.
But the thing is, the crux of it is that the fear of the unknown is the result of needing a response. And that response can be expressed either through people giving up with nihilism or having hope. At the end of the day, what anchors it all is truth. If you're not sure about the truth, that uncertainty is what brings about the fear. And it's generally a culture or a society will tell you or set the tone for what's considered hope and what's considered madness.
Operating from a cosmic neutrality, that's simple to you?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Is it considered elite to you?
Elite, no.
I'll hold up. Operating from a cosmic neutrality is not considered an elite aspect for you?
No.
I'm talking about to the masses, cuz, not you personally.
Well, again, that's why I said it's a matter of consensus, because they engage in it already. It's just a matter of, is it in the conscious mind or the subconscious mind? Generally speaking, a culture will give you a predisposition to respond to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And religion in general is a big placeholder for that. A big placeholder. If you look at what we've related to with regards to our culture in particular, you're going to be familiar with pie in the skyism. Essentially, that is a deferment method of dealing with the unknown, and in greater instances, dealing with adversity in the first place.
Right.
So again, we're back to what we were saying in the beginning. Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this from some of the earlier content I did for this character, but his creed is with resolute acceptance of death, endure through struggle, and find meaning through conflict. And it ties into what was said about hope. Again, if we understand that it's an access of how you deal with the truth, and that whether it falls along the lines of hope or madness is generally predicated on what's considered acceptable by your environment. The deeper
this sounds very Hidden Leaves. Right? Like this sounds like Nameless Yamamoto. What was I'm just curious, what was the basis for this? Or like what was where did you get the influence for this?
Just my own personal observations with martial arts in general.
Okay. And then actually, you know, we had this conversation before. You practice what? You practice ninjutsu or
yes.
Okay.
Clearly you practice ninjutsu.
I was like, this sounds very okay. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miyamoto.
Yeah. A lot of concepts. Yeah, I cover the Dokudo, Miyamoto Musashi's additive to the Gorin no Sho, the Book of Five Rings.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that information is just in general useful for the space, but a lot of those concepts are pretty much have rippled all across martial arts, especially a lot of Japanese concepts, but so much of it was influenced by other ideas like Zen. And when you break down Zen and its iteration in Japan, there's so much of it that really relates to what you can observe in Kemet and really describing the dynamic of the sun and moon, which is where they really get the yin yang from. That whole concept of from nothing, there was something, and one became two, and the two became everything.
Look, you really only learn about this when you study each culture, and then you start to see the connecting lines, and you realize, okay, well, anything that's non-melanated, that's not the start of it.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they weren't able to, you know what I'm saying, rock with it in a period of their existence to where it showed some enrichment through it being established as principle within their societies. You know?
Right. And I think Japan is such a good illustration because it was isolated for so long.
Yeah.
So it got to get a really nice snapshot. It's like finding a fossil. You know, you can
Facts.
go and organize it. And
Facts.
even though they rearrange some of the images, if you have the master key from Kemet, you can literally decode so much of that information going
Say
back.
that again. Wait a minute. Boy, that need to be on the t-shirt, nigga. Say that shit again. Damn, that's the coldest shit I heard in a minute. The master key from Kim.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
look, I don't know how. Look, you most people here have probably seen Naruto, and you've understood the concept of the Sharingan.
Right.
If you understand that the actual tomoe that's in there, the little symbols, if you put two of them together, that's the yin yang.
Facts. Yeah. Okay.
So when you add that third, that is the two becoming three, right?
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
if we understand the relationship with the sun and the moon, what do they produce?
I produce the stars.
And that is the original holy
Trinity.
Now look at the Sharingan again.
Ah, the eye that sees into the soul.
So I mean, it's all the science is all over again. It's just people have their own remix of it. Like I have a very strong suspicion that ninjutsu, its origins really didn't have anything to do with Japan at all. And I really look to the Moors. I'm gonna do a video on the Black Dragon Society and really break down that history of that organization, how it relates to the Moors, how they relate to carrying on the science of the Magi from the Central Africa, really, but Nubia overall, that whole culture. And the plan to try to become a new imperial power to compete against Europe.
Right.
Starting with taking over Russia. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in that time period when they were in the process of one, westernizing, and two, starting to become an imperial power. Because people forget that the Nazis went to, well, rather, Japan was one of the Nazi axes.
Right.
That didn't happen on accident.
No, it didn't. No, it
And
didn't.
you'd be surprised the kind of individuals that were advocating for Black folks when what were they called? The League of Nations, because Japan was a member in it. They were a seat holder. How they were advocating for us when we was going through the nonsense that was happening exactly at the same time period Tulsa went down.
Right.
And certain individuals suddenly showed up in the Black community around that time. I'll give you a hint. Go take a look at the land of the rising sun and go research the links between that country and where they came from.
Okay.
That's an interesting rabbit hole.
Around the same time, so around the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
Land of the rising sun. Thanks for the jewel.
Absolutely. But now I'm definitely gonna do a video on that because I think I only talked about that one time on Angry Man's panel. And we just happened to touch on the topic, but yeah, there's a lot connected to that family.
All right. Shout out to Adam Williams and Guy Ogami. And all right, I got a super chat that just came in. Oh, from Guy Ogami. Greetings, BMBBH. Could you drop the link? The link is dropped, sir.
Look at his picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo,
He got
respect.
the Magenkyo.
My Yankyo.
That was what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gyogami. What's going on, fam?
Gyokaku no Jutsu. I be trying to hold that shit back, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I've been on that carton for a long fucking time, cuz. For real. They want it. Go ahead. Put that motherfucking liquor in my neighborhood and think we ain't finna do nothing with it, goddamn. All right, then.
Damn.
Nah, it's cool. Go ahead, fam.
He came up and then he dropped back off, so I'm sure he'll be right back up. Probably having a little technical stuff, Or...
I think he's either in Canada or the continent. Probably in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Nah, he's in Germany, I think.
Is it Germany?
Yeah, he in Germany because
okay.
He was telling us about the pilgrims and shit. So that shit was hilarious. I remember that around the show one time. That was Black Man Being Brutally Honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's trouble remaining on the stream. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if he get through his technical issues, he's welcome to come up.
All right, so let me ask you this, name the protagonist, please. And you know what I'm saying, warrior to warrior, cuz. All right, so as a child, I kind of like pre-program myself with a command that I'm to carry out if shit ever get to the point to where it was here. Like, all right, so we're talking this 85, and I'm like, you know, everything about Trump at that time, and, you know, lifestyle rich and the famous, the whole thing with, you know what I'm saying, wealth and greed. And it's like, all right, so obviously it got something to do with consumption, you know. So I'm just looking at consumption. And I'm looking at how the pilgrims consume and the nigga from North Tulsa. So, you know what I'm saying, you got that history with that. And I'm putting puzzle pieces together of cultural character. It ain't no, oh, you don't like white folks or nothing. It's like, nah, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Let's see how motherfuckers of this specific human doing throughout the annals of history. You know what I'm saying? And then you see, all right, well, and then you know, then there was Martin Luther King. And it's like, all right, you hope that they listen to that motherfucker.
Right.
It's like, yo, please listen to him. You know what I'm saying? People telling you about him. Oh, yeah, that's a nice dude. He did all this, right? All right, so please listen to him. And then they don't. And then they take the route that they take. And it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? How non-logical or how illogical is the perspective of going nihilist with some shit? You know what I'm saying? Is it really that illogical?
No, again, you got to remember human beings are ritualistic.
Yeah.
So whatever you take away, you have to replace with something. I'm of the subjective opinion that human beings are not designed to function without a purpose.
Right.
I don't think we can do it. And furthermore, the more advanced the society gets, more specifically, the more advanced civilization gets, the more it tends to fall back on its baseline culture.
Right.
You know, going deeper into what we operated like in the Stone Age. So if technology can become the new God, that becomes the new thing that staves off, or rather becomes the new purpose.
Right.
It's just a question of, are people's needs going to be met by getting enough validation from the surrounding society to make that work? So ultimately what I'm saying is, if people are embracing nihilism, 9 times out of 10, they've been forced out of a system that they were born into. That's not a sustainable state. I don't know how to articulate it any more than, generally speaking, people would prefer to defer back to a system that they came up in, especially if it occurs at a certain age where they've been so embodied into the system that they cannot function on nihilism. But nihilism can again be a form of ruthlessly accepting the truth in what is. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything negative with regards to that.
Nah.
So
look at what the fuck the definition is. Is that what the fuck it says?
Yeah, that's one definition of nihilism.
Get
right
the
there.
Fuck out of here. The rejection of all religious or moral principles.
Yeah.
The rejection of moral principles? Get the fuck out of here.
So,
the reason you got nihilism because the moralism is fucked up to begin with. It ain't because motherfuckers rejected moralism. It's because the current moralism is motherfucking off. And nothing needs to be off in this reality. You know what I'm saying? Shit can
here's the thing.
Balance at a whole dope level.
Here's the thing, Rogish. I think a good individual that broke some of this down was Friedrich Nietzsche, when he did that book about Zarathustra, I think. You know, he made that big declaration that God is dead. And the question was, if all of understanding was predicated on the existence of a God existing.
Not to stop you, name this, but hey, Kev, go to the etymology definition of the word, please. Please continue, name.
If there was no God, then people would have to fill that in with something, and that out of despair, which is the lack of hope, people wouldn't know what to do. And they would fall into nihilism. And this is a direct parallel into what we said, what he ends up saying. The solution is unapologetic self discipline and the creation of what could be understood as what he said was the Ubermensch or the Superman. In other words, a forward, non-looking back approach to self-evolution. And that if you're not pursuing that, then you really and truly have no meaning. And a lot of people think that that book was advocating for nihilism. It was actually a testament against nihilism. It's to say that your purpose is and always has been a will to power.
It sounds like a higher humanity to me.
Well, this is what the Nazis misunderstood and thought it meant white supremacy.
Right.
So that's why this topic doesn't get brought up very often. And when it does, it's in very advanced philosophy courses on, you know, postgraduate level normally. Or if you're at a really, really prestigious school, you'll get it in undergrad. But the book Will to Power, damn, that should really be a book review. That's a course, but Green Gorilla would be excellent to sit down and chop it up if he hasn't done that particular topic yet.
Yo,
but I think it speaks to what you're talking about.
Let's create a Black Manosphere vein for it then. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's set the book up. We get it. You know what I'm saying? And start to create a series of videos on it. I'm down for it. But you know, something need to happen with this EBK energy, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's 1987 where I told myself, all right, cuz shit get as funky as it is right now, nigga. Everything fucking burns. Everything fucking burns, right? And then everything is coming up with the motherfucking North Tulsa. They didn't have the motherfucking Joker movie. They didn't have the Venom movie. They didn't even have Stephen King's motherfucking Gunslinger. Cause they didn't have everything, you know what I'm saying, associated with a motherfucking childhood, you know what I'm saying? And I was, you know what I'm saying, programming myself, telling myself, hey, man, these motherfucking pilgrims get out of pocket like this, nigga, say everything on fire. Nigga, in the sandbox, everybody get to build their motherfucking castle. Every motherfucking body, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like all this shit is coming, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking full-fledged. So, you know what I'm saying, it's getting kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, to keep the motherfucking, the citizen anchor on it.
I mean, I get it, but it's why, again, I think he'd benefit from really listening to the Will to Power, because it's pretty much everything he's talking about right now. If you don't focus on, or rather acknowledge, the need to have an immediate ability to have mastery over yourself, to have mastery over your environment, you're going to end up being subject to it, which is why I advocate so strongly with social dominance order, because it breaks down everything we're talking about with racism without needing to use the word racism, because this is built in to a dynamic of human interaction, and it does parody what we see going on in observable reality. But I know Gilgami just got up here, and I know he hasn't said anything yet. What's going on, fam?
Gilgami, what's going on?
Greetings to all, to Kev, to Rogish, Nameless Protagonist. I just tuned in just about maybe 5-10 minutes ago when when the other brother was commenting on Nameless and the spiritual aspect of the ninjutsu and everything. And then I heard Nameless speak about his suspicion about a connection maybe about the tradition of Japan and Africa and Central Africa. And when I heard Nameless say that, the same thought I had months ago when I first heard Nameless. I said, Nameless has a beautiful mind, because the connection you're suspecting is actually a real one, to the point as I would say, the school where I learned my own esoteric path. My own grandmaster teacher said himself, he's from Congo also, just like me. And he said he went to Japan to discuss with the Shinto priest, because he also had a suspicion that there was indeed a unity between the tradition of Japan and the tradition of Bukongo. And the Shinto priest himself said, yes, indeed. Actually, it's from you that we got our own tradition. And that was, when he said that, it was, I suspected there was some connection, but he confirmed it actually. He's my own teacher. He's also the head master of the great school of Kimuntu, which is mainly practiced not only in Congo but in other school. And he also said all the kami how the principle of Shinto, of Onmyodo, are also taught between in the great Congo tradition. Because my own teacher explained that the Bukongo is not a tradition that is native to Congo. It is called Congo, but
let me pause you.
Congo
Let me
means
pause you real quick. For people who don't know what Omyodo is.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. I just want to explain Omyodo real quick because most people don't know what that is in general.
Go for it.
Look at it like this. It is the combination of astrology and spiritualism combined so that it can predict the present, past, and future. So it deals very heavily with the celestial bodies and what we call the yin yang now. But again, it's really just making a metaphor to the sun and the moon.
Yes,
If you've seen I can't even think of any characters that really use that as a theme unless you're really heavy into anime. But just know that it used to be sanctioned by the state government in Japan, and it was only recently abolished, probably around when they had to modernize and they finally got rid of that. In other words, the West made them stop practicing it.
But what is its relation to the Congo?
It's literally the same science that was practiced in Kemet, almost copy and paste, because it didn't depend on the Vedic system. It's completely removed from the Vedic system.
Do any one of you understand Congo language?
I'm from Congo actually.
From Congo. Okay.
Yeah.
What does the phrase "mkuki wa maskini" mean to you?
There are many languages in Congo, but what you said actually I cannot read it. I cannot translate it properly because the main languages that we use there is the Kikongo, which is actually the proper Kikongo is actually a priest language. The people do not speak only speak the variation of Kikongo because it's like in Egypt. There's the sacred language and the language of the people.
Right.
But in the main population, there's Kikongo, there's Lingala, the Kiswahili, Chiluba.
Kiswahili, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Kiswahili is in the east. So I don't speak Kiswahili. That's one of the that's the reason why.
Yeah, that's where I'm tied to from the Bantu angle.
Yeah, indeed. But that's the thing. And just like in Japan, in Nihongo, in Japanese, just like in Congo, there are the 5 primary vowels: the A, E, O, U, which is the basis to pronounce the different words. And just like in Japanese, the N sound is isolated. All other sounds are combined. For example, there's ta, there's not the T standing alone, but the T has a meaning on itself. We can say, for example, chu, che, cho, ta, to, etc. But the consonant at the beginning usually does not remain alone, except for the N. And it is the same principle in Kikongo. And the N, for example, which is common in both Nihongo, Japanese, and Kikongo, it stands for the primordial consciousness. For example, if you use a word and you put the N before, it is to say that someone is doing the action. There's someone conscious performing the act or interacting. The same way that the N in Japanese can stand alone, but when it is added to a word or at the end, it changes the pronunciation of everything. So the Bukongo tradition, which is way older than Congo itself, has ramification in Japan.
What's the ancient name for the Congo?
Congo Diantotila. That's the name of the kingdom, the empire, which before that was the Congo Diatuka.
I can write everything you said in katakana and hiragana.
Exactly. That's the same.
Really proving his point.
Yes,
just proving his point. Go ahead, fam.
And actually, when you speak, I always noticed when I was listening to Japanese that when I hear Kikongo and Lingala, it sounds almost the same as Japanese. Even there are actually many words that are actually the same, which mean the same meaning. For example, one of the meaning of Congo is crystal or diamond. And also in Japanese, Kongo, if you ever heard of the diamond staff of the Monkey King, is also called Kongobo, which means the diamond staff. It is the same word that has been translated. And for example, Congo doesn't mean, it's not a tribal name. Congo means it could be considered as a Buddha. It's an elevated state. That's why in the old school it says the son of a Congo is not a Congo. It means it's not because you have it would be like saying the son of a general is not a general. Congo is in an initiatic state. When you reach the state of Congo, it's like you reach the third grade circle of initiation. It's like a
That's
Buddha.
exactly how the priesthood works, fam. Exactly how it works.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, even when you
For
get into
example-
the system of like the Godai in
Yeah.
general, most of Shinto, but Nimpo adopted the Godai. That's nothing more than the 5 elemental system that was practiced in Kemet. All of it.
Mhm.
And I came across that studying the masonry. And when I saw that overlap, it shocked me.
So you know what? This could not have been spreaded when, you know what I'm saying, the continental drift had occurred.
No,
This
there
had
was
to-
migration.
Yeah, there had to be migration. We talking, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let me drop some
when the
names.
landmass was singular.
Before that, you had people, you got to remember, there's a really good book called When Egypt Ruled the East.
Right.
And most of Western India had been colonized by Kemet. And there was a direct transfer of culture, especially in the Tibetan region. We got to remember what it was before it got these lines of sovereignty later on down the line. And when you look at the way the waves, the water out there works, you've got what I guess they call them trade winds, where for a certain time of the year, the current will blow east, and in another part of the year, the current will blow west. I really believe for a long time, most of the indigenous individuals on that island did migrate there from the continent. We know it happened with Australia. We know it happened with pretty much almost all of East Asia. We know it happened particularly in the Shang dynasty of China. And one of the connections I learned about that was when I was getting into a lot more of what we call Kobudera, or I'm going to call it the esoteric left hand stuff with ninjutsu. I started seeing things like divination come up, and they would use systems like the oracle system that comes from I Ching. And what I understood when I started looking at what happened in what I don't have any historical precedents for this. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. I think when Kemet became Asiatic after the 25th dynasty, I think that the information was fragmented and spread out across the Sahara regions and the Southern Sahara and Central African regions. And everybody got a piece of that information. And that's important because
I don't want to stop you, but thinking about it like this. We've all seen Paid in Full, right?
Right.
What did Ace do with that first rock that he had?
All right, yeah.
Sold it to the first person. It was, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, yo, really? All this quality. You know what I'm saying? It's an aspect of quality of deliverance of information. So if you have that, and that's how I kind of see the black, not kind of, but that's how I see the Black Manosphere. It is dense with enrichment in how it approaches other people's ideologies, perspectives, ones that is developed within the space of itself. So, you know what I'm saying? You get some Rudy Poo motherfuckers, they'll be able to water down some quality to the point to where, you know what I'm saying? In the movie, it was like, look, this ain't Blue Magic. It ain't 100. They like, look, Blue Magic don't need to be 100 for the shit to sell 100.
Well, to prove that point, I was getting into the I Ching. So the oracle system is designed in such a way that you divine a certain set of lines, and the line can be a solid straight line, or it can be a broken dotted line. And again, that represents the yin and the yang.
Right.
But then when I looked at Ifa and the divination system that their priests use, it's literally the same thing, only it's done in a circle.
Brother Nameless?
Instead of just lying straight across. I'm talking about the I Ching, the divinity system used in Ifa is literally the same thing that's being copied with the oracle system in China that spread all throughout East Asia. I said the only difference is because you know how in Ifa, the circles, there's a solid line circles and then there's a dotted line circle, and they represent the masculine and the feminine. And then you've got in the I Ching, the lines that are simply solid, and then they're dotted lines, and they represent the yin and the yang. It's literally the same system. They just group it into segments of 8, and they stack any 2 set of 8 lines together, and that's how they derive their oracle meaning and definition. But these sciences go all the way back to the continents. Like Asia has been a complete copy and paste of everything I can read from Kemet, and it took me going back to see where the transmission always came from. And generally speaking, they would always defer to India and China, but India and China would always defer to the great sages.
Right.
And we already know who these great sages had to have been chronologically, because what was the only thing that was older than they were?
Shit. All there was Kemet. Oh, Nubia.
You see what you're going back to the Central African region.
Yeah.
Because even Kemet, it was a repository of information.
Right.
Those folks moved there from the southern regions up the Nile, because the river goes from the south to the north, up the Nile to reach those areas. And every time Kemet was having an issue, it was always the central region that came in and pretty much bailed them out.
Right.
That was the repository of the knowledge and the information ultimately. But when all of that got broken up and we saw how essentially the Middle Eastern Empire came in and really tried to covet all of that info, I think that's where we get the Moors and their key connection to all of this and trying to create a global empire. I just think somebody dropped the ball somewhere. I think somebody really dropped the ball.
And, Brother Nameless, not only on the suspicion, right? You're absolutely right on the money on the period. Actually, the Bakongo people, from the people of Central Africa, we left Egypt and Nubia and Ethiopia precisely during the period of the different Asiatic invasions. That's why we say in the Congo, there's a song that says we left Ngipiti, Egypt, and Ethiopia, to go into the Ntima Diakatiopa, the heart of Africa. That's when we left. It's the same thing that happened with the Soninke, who left Aswan, Suna, to form the Empire of Ouagadougou, the Empire of Ghana in what is today Mauritania. And Sheikh Anta Diop also speaks about this Persian, that when the Persians and the Assyrian attacked, since the Egyptians were still more advanced in science, they took with them architects and scientists of Egypt to take them and brought them into Persia to build the city of Persepolis. That is to explain the level of advancement of Kemet. It was so advanced that even the invaders had to take their scientists and say, build our own capital city. And
but see, that's the perspective that fuels my nihilism. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna claim it. All right, fuck it. I'm a nihilist.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is what it is.
The thing, that's a perspective that fuels it. It's like, wait a minute, nigga, I'm from North Tulsa, bro. The only thing that these motherfuckers could hate more than us was our motherfucking potential. But where did the potential come from? And then you learn the history, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you can't hate at them for hating the potential, because we have scary potential. That's the thing. They were able to see us in our most decadent state, in our most worst state of not knowing self, and still be able to be like, oh shit, wait a minute, they're gonna be a threat.
Genetic memory, fam.
They're gonna be a threat if these motherfuckers ever able to link up. You know what I'm talking about?
Genetic memory.
You feel me? So
symbols go a long way. That's all I'll say,
bruh. Yes. Bruh. So that's the start of my shit. That. And that's why it's like I believe that this is why, you know what I'm saying, the Mao were correct in that perspective of scorched earth. Right. It's like, wait a minute, it don't matter if you scorch this shit. There's something within you that's going to permit you to build or rebuild however you need to adequately for the continued enhancement of your existence.
That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. To build for your existence instead of build for others.
But that goes back to self-mastery. Like there's no escaping that. You still have to have that mastery of self in order to have a mastery of the environment around you.
Right.
And like we said before, we deal with the dual consciousness. Again, the one we learn in the home, which is the plantation model, and then the one that we learn when we go to school, which is generally the American perspective. And
Right.
since we don't have a plug-in for the latter,
The
unless
USian
it's
perspective.
right, we don't have a plug-in for that as Black men due to social dominance order.
Get that one.
You have to deprogram that, but there are things you lose when you do that. And so in order to replace that which you lose, the only method that is available to you again is unapologetic self-discipline. And again, you know, how many people are willing to do all of that work to make that happen on all levels?
Is it a
human
lot
activity.
of work for self-discipline? No. Is it a lot of work? Or
It
is
is
it that
when
people think it's a lot of work?
it's everything. So your first 7 years, did you look at the video I had linked you when I talked about the Library of Babel?
Yeah, I looked at that joint.
Okay. So do you understand the scope of how important culture is?
Yeah.
And then what you lose when you don't have that first 7 years?
Yeah.
I'm being so serious, family.
Yeah.
When you analyze brain waves from going from age 0 to about 7 or 8, your brain waves are operating in accordance to the way you are when you're sleeping.
Right.
It's not that you can't make conscious decisions. It's just that most of your consciousness is behaving as though you're hypnotized.
Right.
So when you're in that hypnosis state, what's really going on is you're in a state where you're downloading information from your environment at a very rapid rate.
Right. Your subconscious is more operative than your
prefrontal cortex, your consciousness. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're absorbing all of this data and you're learning your rituals from your immediate environment and its presuppositions,
yeah,
that's what you're fighting against. You have to go against not just the hardware, but the very software that your entire worldview is predicated on. And
so
anytime you tamper with
somebody
that,
have to attack they have to consciously attack their values and be okay with that.
yeah, and that's a problem because when you do that, they've already shown that it can cause physical pain.
Right.
When someone's ideas are challenged at such a root core that way, it can cause the same as physical damage as far as the way the brain responds and your hormone levels.
Nigga, you have no idea how hard it is for me to be fake as a rehab therapist, cuz. Nigga, it ain't nothing but motherfucking Peckerwoods and motherfucking pilgrims up in the areas that I'm in, because niggas don't care about their motherfucking well-being like that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is God, so they don't give a fuck until shit start looking off.
Yeah, but let me put you like this. Some people you are so far gone, you have to force yourself to appeal to their sensibility. It's tough than a motherfucker to have to make that compromise, and it's a compromise I don't want to make because I feel like people should be more solid than that.
Thank you.
I'll go look for the monsters under the bed. Just relax, okay? I'll get the flashlight. I'm gonna go turn the nightlight on, okay? Stop tearing the curtains down.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me claw my eyes out with the truth. Oh,
It's been Horizon, cuz.
Fucking shit. God damn it. Stop saying that stuff.
But I mean, that's why a lot of that is dangerous, man. I learned a long time ago, during my Hotep era, it can be dangerous when you remove or tamper with people's worldviews. And this information, it can hurt people who aren't ready for it.
Facts.
And, it's why I do the best I can to not be animated by this idea of right and wrong, but instead push forward the idea of being as honest and as clear as I possibly can at any given moment. Because I understand that's all I can do.
That's where I am right now. And the thing is, I'll be scared when it comes to this sick made shit, cuz I swear to God, nigga, sick made sound just like a happy day picnic. You know what I'm saying? The shit that I'm the shit but like that, you got Charles Xavier and you have Magnus. And Magnus made so much more sense, man. God damn, I wish that nigga sound crazy to me. But he didn't. That nigga made all the sense in the world. All right, yeah. Fuck it. We motherfucking superior. All right, let's get this shit right.
Brother Nameless, Brother Rogish, you were talking earlier, I think, about the fear about the white people, about the potential of black people when they can reach their full potential. To go along that line, during the period of the end of quote unquote end of colonization, during the 60s and 70s in Africa, there was the president of Gabon, President Omar Bongo. To explain how much powerful, especially black people, can go when they enter the esoteric circle. He was both versed into the traditions and rituals of Gabon, for example, Iboga and the Mvet, and also he was a Mason. But thanks to his teaching that he received in Africa, he rose beyond and above in the hierarchy of Freemasonry in France, to the point that although he was an African president, he was actually choosing ministers in France. Imagine someone in Africa participating into the hidden circle to choose who's going to be the next president of the United States. For example, even in France, they have the equivalent of what you have in the States of, I would call the Council of Small Hat People. They have the same thing in France, and they tend to participate, I would say, in the political realm. But the President Omar Bongo was so high into the faith of Freemasonry, higher than even the other Frenchmen, that he had a veto on who would be becoming either ministers of finance, ministers of foreign relations, and so forth. And this is something that embarrassed at a certain point the white French. But since he was still going along the lines of European imperialism, since he was educating their own school, they could not see anything. And also because he was standing above them in the hierarchy of Freemasonry. And that's why after Omar Bongo, the Europeans said, we cannot let other black Africans or other black people enter our circle in such a way, because when they enter the esoterical realm, they go way far and beyond what other people tend to go. Black people can go at great length into mediocrity, but when they go into genius, they are unrivaled under the heaven. This is something, as Brother Nameless says, that participate to their genetic memory. The white people tend to they have a clear recollection of history. They know exactly what
Gil Gummy, I'm so glad you said that, man. You know, to instill that belief in our power as a people. Yeah, it's kind of like I say with the women. When our women are they're at their most beautiful, they're the most beautiful women in the world. When black people are at their and when black people are at our full potential, we are unrivaled. Nobody can beat us in our greatness.
That is exactly why I still advocate as a strategy. We need to see ourselves as the universal human being and become a moral compass.
Wait, hold on. Say that again and then go into it. And you was finna. I want people to understand and catch that. You know, this shit like double dutch. You know what I'm saying? Once you get in, you start moving with barbed wire. You feel me? So say that shit again, because I really don't think they caught that, because that's one thing that I've been noticing about, you know what I'm saying? We'll say black Americans, whatever. Personally, I like to say niggas, because that's what everybody run away from. You know what I'm saying? Everybody run away from nigga. And when I was a little kid, when the word came up during the time, it was taboo. And the fact that I was able to see that word as taboo, I was able to take, you know what I'm saying, in concession of the different character perspectives I saw it. And I saw that when it came to us, we have a different perspective of morality, right? Everybody else in the world, they got some tribalism behind them, some form of tribalism. The only thing that we ever had over here was our skin color. because we weren't linked through tribes, we weren't linked through culture, we weren't linked through language or whatever. In a way we was, but at that time we wouldn't dive into it that deep enough to try to see those parallels and the correlations and everything. But in that regard, my homeboy Thorough put it like this. He said, look, black people have gone through a D band. He's an IT cat. So I guess, you know what I'm saying, that means when you know what I'm saying, a hard drive has been completely wiped of all its files, all its foundational files. So that means that everything that comes from us has to come from a generally new perspective of engaging it. But it's new and it's innovative because, you know what I'm saying, coming up here in the United States, the way that these pilgrims try to put the society against us, we was always working against pressures, different, you know what I'm saying, facets of difficulty and obstruction, which made us, you know what I'm saying, catalyze our perspective of reality into one that's damn near golden goose style. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say black people over here in the United States, we're like Goku and Gohan when they left the fucking, you know what I'm saying, the chamber of hype ebonic rhyme chamber. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always in Super Saiyan status, but you ain't letting off no motherfucking energy. You know what I'm saying? A whole different level of that shit.
He went mystic.
You feel me? Yeah.
No, but I really think that's important because like he was saying, because we have a cultural situation going on where and that's essentially why what I was talking about with the Library of Babel. It'd be like losing all sources of records, and then here you are in the Library of Babel with no reference points, starting from scratch all over again.
Yeah.
And then competing with other groups of people who have centuries ahead of you of logs upon logs upon logs, and they can definitively find information in that labyrinth. They're going to be able to operate and move about the world around them in a completely different rate than we are. And what's crazy is every time we reset, we get really close to other groups of people who do have that, which again speaks to that potential. But what's animating my statement about why I believe individuals classified as black need to begin to see themselves as the universal human beings. Because on a biological level, that is 125% facts. We have the longest and greatest seniority over what is classified as Homo sapiens sapien. Human beings began with us, and we come from the oldest traceable, sequenceable bloodlines on Earth. That's not a subjective opinion. That's not some speculation. That's facts.
Facts.
It's why on a genetic level, whenever we come across anybody else, our genetics supersedes most others are recessive. And what that means for you as a black man is that your Y chromosome, 9 times out of 10, is some of the most oldest and original few men to ever be called a human being. You are the original man.
Yeah, that's why I be laughing at folks when they be talking about, oh man, they gonna breed us out, man. Yeah, we gonna get bred out. Why? Like, fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, that's fear mongering.
But I mean, it's biology. It's biology.
A couple motherfuckers they could. I mean, you can look at the Muhammad clan as far as like, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad Ali's folks, and you be like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying, yes. In that regards, you can understand, yeah, it is possible. But as far as it becoming an intent of desire toward the majority of the world, what it has to be in order for that shit to actually take root, to become somewhat of an effect, it ain't finna happen. Not at all.
No, but I mean, Nameless is saying biology, but at the end of the day, based on everything we've said, I mean, everything you guys were saying, can't you truly breed us out?
You can't. There's no way. There's no way.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's why I said And that's why I said, not only that, using our seniority as a tool to, again, assume our posture as the moral compass for all human beings would be our ticket to solidifying our place, not only in the future, but
Nameless.
indefinitely.
How do people approach that and not be racked with the throes of possibly resonating within ego?
All right.
Well,
All right,
discipline.
real quick.
Go ahead, fam.
Real quick, shout out to the Roger Report for the super chat. Thank you,
What's up?
sir. And speaking of Roger, he has arrived, and we know that these broadcasts is always a gift for Roger to ingratiate us with his presence. And long live the habitual line steppers.
Long
Well,
live.
Long live.
Long live the habitual line steppers. Os. And I just want to be up here with a bunch of smart folks. That's all. No, I actually just was getting a chance to tune in, and I heard this concept of folks breeding us out and things like that. I don't really think that's gonna happen from a global perspective. You know, I get why people are worried from a American perspective, but you know, my thing is we are able to move forward. You know, other people listening, but I'm just gonna keep it real. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're just the greatest, and that's just something everybody gonna have to learn to be comfortable with. We excel at everything we put our minds to. As a group, we if we want to take over that thing, that's what we do. So people are really just worried about us taking over things, which is why they want to keep us in check in this under certain regards, if you ask me. But I haven't heard enough of the conversation really adding. Well, I just saw a bunch of smart people, and I said, let me jump in. So I'm gonna hold back for a minute and let y'all continue to roll.
Well, you know, this is what we call the cool kids table. This is, you know, when we
Facts.
when we speak on stuff like
The
this, that's what
concept of nihilism.
That's a
All
funny
right.
word to me, cuz it's a funny word to me because the thing is, all it resonates to me as is like I said, you know what I'm saying? The Joker saw the hypocrisy of the society. So that meant that he was actually operating 100 and being genuine with reality with things. Now, it might have been something that, you know, a lot of people might not have either benefit for or preferred the route that he went. But I mean, when you're dealing with such a hypocrisy, what else? What other human perspective can you take other than, you know what I'm saying, some mouth shit?
Well, again, warrior culture, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I get it. It's natural for any entity who has been harmed by something or has had pain inflicted on them by something to want to balance that equation and inflict that same thing back. But, you know, domestication, right?
You don't want it. Nah, dog, you don't want to inflict pain. Look, you don't want to inflict pain. You don't even want to be no part of it. You want all them people that come through that say that they're about the precepts and the principles of the society that the ruling elite say that you're supposed to be about in order to interact with them, engage with them, possibly, you know what I'm saying, debate or bargain or whatever. You want that shit to be the real.
Right.
I'm
for them
telling
to
you,
actually uphold the laws they stand by. But I'm
nigga,
just saying,
when I saw Martin Luther King, I was praying that everything that he was for was effective. Please believe this nigga.
So Martin Luther King?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not a non-violent motherfucker, nigga. I'm anti-non-violent. But please believe this non-violent motherfucker.
Yeah.
Cause you don't want what Pac warned y'all about. Pac warned y'all. He said, look, if you take me out the game, you ain't gonna want to see this next cat because he ain't gonna have no compassion.
Martin Luther King.
You know what I mean? That was the most compassionate that they could get. And then you want to tell me that not only do you kill this motherfucker, but you kill this motherfucker in context of assassination? And you want all of us to turn some shit?
Yeah.
Turn some cheeks.
Sometimes you do that turn the cheek, baby. Brothers, sometimes you gotta turn the cheek, man. But that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the cheek that's on your face. I'm just saying.
Hey, and y'all look. Speaking of today's Martin Luther King, we are on our second hour, so just take a few seconds, take a breather, and we'll be back after this.
Shit, fam.
Timing,
Oh my god! Every time you kill me with that shit, fam.
That's
No,
why
for
you
real,
put him
man,
in a
that's
do-rag, dog. You should have put him in a do-rag.
Oh my god, bro, you should be dying.
For real, man. I mean, the spirit of Dr. King letting them know he don't appreciate that shit, man.
Facts. But nah, ultimately at the end of the day, I get what you're saying, Kev, but that's a decision people gonna have to make. That's literally the conversation of the red pill and the blue pill. Literally. Do you
Facts.
accept the truth and go down the rabbit hole, or do you put the blinders on and value the construct and go back to where you were? And it'd be like as if nothing ever happened. The problem ends up being, you can't unsee, you can't unspill the milk.
Right.
So, like,
right,
how good really is that?
How good can you fake yourself? How good can
But
good can you
but here's
fool
what I'll say. At the end of the day, people need to have these constructs. There is a thing for it. So ultimately, you can only hold on to power that you've actually earned and acquired. Otherwise, something else will take it from you that has the ability to. So if you were never ready for that information, you'll be stuck in a perpetual state of anger. And it's not until you learn how to let that go that you're going to have to make a choice, either go back or progress forward. People aren't going to get to sit in limbo forever. I mean, you can stall it out and you'll get a lot of what you see everywhere, really, especially in the red pill spaces. Folks that they want to keep the information, but they don't want to change.
Right.
You either have to go back to it, go back to where you came from and accept what that means in truth, or you're going to have to progress and let go of what it is you were holding on so tightly. That's really the whole purpose of the first part of that creed I told you about earlier, resolute acceptance of death. It's
similar to the power of nothingness, cuz.
That's exactly what that is. But again, what was the understanding when we broke down the Sharingan? From nothing came something.
Came something, right?
Yeah. Also, let me say this real quick to Mr. Lenny down there. It's like, how you gonna get timed out for a comment that YouTube wouldn't even let be visible? So that's your stupid ass right there.
Shit.
Hey, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, dude. Shout out to Rael and Tyrone Church and Chris Morgan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
You beat me to it. I finna say shout out Rael, cuz you was cooking on Roger's channel, bruh. You was cooking, cuz, for real.
Absolutely. And Kev, when you get people like that in your audience, sometimes you gotta say bless his heart. That's hard. You just gotta say
Some ignorant shit that went down, fam. Maybe it's good I missed it.
Nah, it was
I mean,
it was good. It was good. It was worth it. It was worth it.
it
Hopefully,
was definitely interesting.
Hopefully, Rod will chop. Hopefully, Rod will chop that shit out. Why he chopping out all that other shit that the motherfuckers do in there? They got
Yeah.
you good, cuz. Them niggas sucking your ass
Hey,
in,
Chris.
cuz.
Hey, Chris Morgan. Look at this nigga, man. Chris Morgan. Boys, y'all tripping tonight.
Oh, really though.
Pun intended.
That's funny.
Yeah, I heard Kwame be cooking his ass. Shit.
Boy, that dude, boys. Oh man.
He on another level. Yeah, he gotta be relevant. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? He got excuse me. He gotta be relevant within the space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I bet he.
Interesting way to be relevant.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet he the type that go and try to touch his wife and she be like, I'm tired, you know.
Exactly. Look, dog. Look.
With the
Time
extra disrespect sauce.
Perfect time said it best. He said, "Look, everything is a debate with him and his woman. Everything. He don't never get a okay, baby."
No, for real though, man. No, he should listen to Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. That motherfucker's last.
Nigga, for real.
That man waited 29 years.
What the fuck is that? Look, okay, I done heard that shit. Somebody break that shit down. I done heard that shit like for the last 3-4 days. I ain't looked into it. What the fuck that mean?
Rogish, have you seen Doug Funny?
Doug Funny?
Yeah. On Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that cartoon Doug.
Okay, yeah. Okay, straight up. Yeah, straight up.
So you know how you felt about Patty Mayonnaise, right?
Okay, yeah. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
That's cold. That's cold as shit.
I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it, family.
Damn. Okay. All right, dude. I mean, is she a freak? Is she a freak hoe, internet hoe, social media hoe? She a hoe, but you know what I'm saying? What it is?
Oh, fam. How many kids she got? Like 2, 3?
Okay. There you go then. There you go. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. I just want to announce that I have 63 likes, which is great. You know, that's a pretty good ratio on the viewership, and I also have 2 dislikes. So you know, it is what it is. Now I'm feeling objectified by your male game.
That's good. Look. The dislikes lets you know to stay on the path that you're on.
Oh yeah. It's called confirmation.
Yes, sir. That's all it is. Confirmation.
Yeah.
Yogami, the book you mentioned earlier. I'm only finding it in French, so I'm gonna try to see if I can find a translation.
Actually, the book I just shared to you, I have it right with me. It is actually entirely in English. I have it right in front of. I have it in my hands. It is both available in French and in English. The version I have is in English.
Does it have a different title?
No, actually, the name is The Yi King of the Toche. It is by Stephen Kwasi. It actually explains.
And Carmel Debali. Yeah, I'm not finding it in English for some reason. So I'm gonna keep looking. But no, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just only finding it in French right now. So I'm gonna keep looking.
So Nameless, let me ask you, dog. Do you actually have hope within current society over here as is?
Hold on. Say the last 20 seconds because I was about to disconnect.
Okay. Do you actually have hope within current society as is?
Do I have hope in the society?
In current society as is?
That's hard for me to answer because I don't. Okay. You're familiar with the concept of superposition, right?
Yes.
That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
My view on is and is not is superposition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's difficult for me to explain because it sounds like it's indecisive. There's literally no linguistic definition I can express, but there's a measure of intention. It's it's like being able to accept both sides and to reject both sides simultaneously. Like, how do I explain that, right?
Real quick. Shout out to Perfect Timing Podcast hosted by Big D Rants. What's going on? Thanks for showing up.
Big D.
Yeah.
But what that creates is equilibrium. So I am pessimistically optimist or optimist pessimist. I'm both of those. And it's I don't place any value on either or.
Right.
You know, if everything goes to hell, I'm already prepared for that. If things go wonderful, I'm happy for people.
Right.
I don't have any presuppositions on anyone's disposition, but it's not like I'm passive about it. And it's not like I don't necessarily have an opinion. My only interest is the state of what is and where is it heading.
Right.
And when you can calm yourself like that, it allows for you to see a couple meters downstream before things really hit you. And it helps you to raise awareness. And I found in my personal experience, you know, I'll go to an anecdote that because of what I've been able to see, I've been able to help others see the same thing too. And because of that awareness, it works just like particle wave theory, where you can collapse it to a completely different direction. That's why I've adopted the stance of superposition in a lot of these ideas, because you never quite know. And the universe permits something like superposition to be a thing. And you can get into a real deep conversation about causality, because that's really what we're talking about at the end of the day.
Right.
Because ultimately, it's the people in aggregate who are going to determine what happens in the end. And a lot of different factors can come to play, which is why I say, if you focus on unapologetic self-discipline and do everything you can to be as honest as you can in the moment that you exist in, things simply are what they are. You're not married to the current situation, but you're not being oblivious to it either. That takes complete self-accountability, 100%. You don't have the luxury of ignoring, but you have the discipline to not be so absorbed and caught into it that everything else that's going in the wake of it pulls you along with it.
So apathy
needlessly.
never becomes a reality then.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why I call it superposition. That's
Right.
precisely what superposition is. And that gives you the opportunity to gain agency.
Okay. Superposition. I need to start researching that. Okay, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up, cause you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can hear how a nigga go. Look, y'all man, y'all know I'm being nice on this bitch.
I understand.
Y'all have no motherfucking clue the plans of the nigga, you know what I'm saying, had on the Stewie Griffin side of the game. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking second grade, cuz I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's ignite this bitch, cuz if this what it is, this what it is. But all right, then. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, cuz I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. I know what I want to see. But the fact that there is cast as principled as yourself within, you know what I'm saying, my existence, yeah, it's an honor, you know what I'm saying? So a nigga ain't gotta go off the, you know what I'm saying, sick made deep in too quickly. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of y'all ain't listening to Brother Lynch hung, but y'all should have. Y'all motherfucking should have. You know what I'm saying? And understand what it really means to be sick made. You know what I'm talking about? To me, sick made, jokerism, all that shit aligns within the same context. You know what I'm saying? Nihilism, that shit all aligns within the same fucking context. And you're right. It does come from an aspect of I don't know what you say, pain from the system, rejection from the system, or whatever it is. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? Violent motherfuckers like me wish that non-violent motherfuckers would have been able to be a little bit more fortuitous than it was. Because then you ain't got to be
a bit more versatile. You know,
well, not necessarily that, cuz just received. You know what I'm saying? Just show me that the entirety of the situation is worth me being a motherfucking citizen. And I'll do that. But
I get it, but I get it, but like for the non-violent motherfuckers, at times you might need to just tone that shit down just a little bit. You know, it'll be critical moments in history where, you know, that kind of mentality costed us. And critical. So
yes, sir. Shout out to nameless protagonists, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the most honorable motherfuckers in the spaces. Real talk. Wuss!
Yes,
Yes,
try to be me, fam.
Yes, sir.
That's all I can do.
Oh yeah, and I might actually check out these books myself.
I'm going to, because you know what I'm saying, to me all I see is Inferno, so I need to get at these books ASAP, nigga. You know
because hope is a 4-letter word, right?
It's a 4-letter word, cuz, you know what I'm saying? It's you know what I'm saying, it's kind of volatile right now.
Yeah. But Roger, you over there? The Roger Report.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And speaking with you, you seem to have and let's shift the conversation a little bit. You know, you seem to have an anti-political view on people who call what we do and what we profess to do as hope preaching. Would you be able to explain something like that, or do you need to understand the context of what I'm trying to say? Do you need me to explain it a little bit deeper, or do you have an idea of what I'm talking about?
I mean, whether I have an idea or not, I'm just gonna say what I think. But saying what we're saying is hope preaching it sounds kind of silly to me. I'm just gonna keep it real. It sounds silly to me. It sounds like it's not thought out. Because hope is you can hope for things that you have no evidence of, you know, from a human perspective, but I don't see anything we're doing as hope. We are telling people, hey, these are problems, these are solutions to the problems. This is where people are gonna have to make a change. I get every change that's gonna be made is not gonna fit every particular person. People ain't gonna necessarily like what's being said because it's gonna mean you ain't gonna necessarily win every area you want to win at. And there's gonna have to be some work done on your part, you know. So people can take that personally, but to say it's about hope preach, I mean, we're humans. If we want something better, all we gotta do is decide to have it be better. That's the sad part about what's going on. It's literally that simple. We could just decide to be better, and we can just have a better community tomorrow if we actually wanted to. The sad part is that we don't care enough to actually just make that decision. Because we really could make that decision as a collective tonight, and everybody could just wake up and we have a better community tomorrow. It is sad that it's that simple.
It is that simple, but you know what? You know what gets in our way? The silent killer of apathy.
I really think there's a cultural component. And again, in order to make that change, there's something you have to give up. And we need to be honest, there's a profit motive in a lot of this. And when you apply that to lack of being able to practice delayed gratification, there are benefits for certain individuals to keep things the way they are. And in truth, even though they could change a lot of that overnight, for them to get the same level of benefits that they had, we're talking years in the future. And for a lot of people, it would take a generation or two to really course correct. And it is something that if people changed their mind, they could make that happen. But you have to replace it with something. They don't have a vision of what that looks like. And there's two different conflicts of interest going on. And I'm saying this only from the context of a status report from what I observe. Because again, the social dominance dynamic is so real, because both the plantation dynamic addresses it, because you can't have black men in a position of authority on the plantation. And then the American cultural dynamic can't have that in place, Because if you have black men in a position of authority and power, the dominant society is no longer the dominant society. And then you break down what was explained already in Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers, where she explained about the whole concept of white genetic survival. That's a thing. It's why black men were disproportionately focused and targeted. So not only is that internalized, we also don't even have a modality of what it looks like to cooperate with each other on a cultural level, which again demonstrates the critical need for this space on a baseline level, which I'm thankful for, and why we're seeing so much resistance to it. So these are things that are generally already addressed in culture, and it's the one primary thing we're missing. And that was why the last time I was here, Kev, I dropped that link about, how they were scientifically showing how culture affects your DNA. The advantage is, one, it's not when I say DNA, I'm talking about on an epigenetic level. It's good that it is on an epigenetic level because it's just like I described. Your DNA is the script or your lyrics, and your epigenetics is the rapper that's spitting the verse. If you can't really make any real changes to the verse, what you can change is the way the verse is spit. People can always improve. And if they can improve and work on their fundamentals and become better rappers, you can change this. But culture is the technology required to make that happen. And we're at a very important crux right now where the civilization is forcing everybody's culture to change. And people are starting to default back to where we started. And with us being in a position to where we're reverse engineering the damage that has caused, we can be in a good position to address this stuff. And we're starting to already. And again, it's the nature of the resistance that is telling you you're on the right course, but we've got to continue to get these messages out. And what you're going to start seeing is people's embedded conditioning rising up to resist the idea of this, shaming you into compliance, trying to undermine the idea of what you're talking about, gaslighting you to say that you presenting the information is a form of complaining, or making it seem as though you're doing this from some position of expectation. This is natural resistance to conditioning. And you are going to meet a monumental amount of resistance to the point where people will literally try to kill you if you try to change their worldviews. And that's nothing new.
I already got a couple folks looking for me.
God damn, Roger.
I'm just keeping it real. But you know what though? And I'm gonna say it in some layman's terms, or at least a piece of what you're saying in layman's terms. It's a lot of black folks that just have simply been convinced that losing is what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
And that just wouldn't come. But nobody wants to claim I like being a loser, but they'll say stuff against people who want to win. Who is against a person who wants to win unless you're a person that likes losing? No. So
people recreate what it is they have from where they came from, fam.
Yeah. So well, from a not necessarily a religious perspective, but if you do believe in God or a higher power, to me it comes down to a simple statement. I said this a long time ago. I actually think God put it in my mouth. But I said that, when it comes down to it, people are you're going to be who God created you to be, or you're going to be who Satan convinced you to be. It's going to be one of those two, So all you got to do is, live your personal life and step in the right direction. Sure, you're going to get some resistance, but at the end of the day, you're a black man in America. Does it make a difference that you're going to get resistance? Because you're already getting it anyway.
Facts.
Why don't you just accept the resistance that at least where it's coming from somebody trying to stop you from going in the right direction? Because even if you go in the wrong direction, they on your heels anyway.
Facts.
So if you're going to be on my heels for something bad, you might as well get on my heels for something good for me. You're
Might
going
get
to
on
be
my
there
heels
anyway.
for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I already honestly know you're going to be against me no matter what I do. I might as well just do what's good for me.
Facts.
Hell yeah, fuck the rest. Do what's best for you. Is like well, once you get over trying to please other people or go in a direction that other people feel you should go into, then you'll be okay. Because when you try to do that, it goes against your nature, and it's going to end up making you miserable. You know, like the first Matrix. You know, the first Matrix was a perfect world, but it went against nature, so it failed. You don't want to fail, you know, by someone else's will. You know what I'm saying? You know, that'd be a really stupid way to go out.
As I was just saying that, I just kind of realized the whole purpose of the title. Because when I looked at it, I was like, makes a guy, okay, nice guy, okay, got to be ruthless. And I stopped thinking about it. But as soon as I just said what I said, yeah, they're gonna be on your heels no matter what. Well, yeah, there's really no point in not going in the right direction. You know, so I just think every black man should just be going in the right direction. Because is it easier for a black man to not go in the right direction? You can believe it is, and there's certain aspects where because there's certain little rewards you're gonna get, but you're a black man. At the end of the day, they don't want you to win regardless.
Facts.
So you might as well try. You know?
Look, you damn if you do, and you damn if you don't. So you better do it to motherfucking death, cuz.
Well, remember the end of the creed for the nameless swordsman. Resolute acceptance of death, endure through struggle, and find meaning through conflict.
Yeah.
If we understand that our presence literally creates conflict out the gate,
that means that your key principle is resilience. Then
that's literally what the kanji for ninja means.
Resilience.
It is the kanji for the heart that has a blade over it. That's literally what the kanji means.
Hold up. Anything with a blade over it resonates as what? That's Islam, cuz.
I already told you where that came from, family. They spell it out for you literally.
Yes.
And the kanji in and of itself reminds you of the Metu Neter.
The sword over the heart under the blade.
Wow.
Yep.
The connectivity is crazy with that.
Yeah, fam. I mean, it's why they were always upset at me, because they'd ask me how I understood certain. And then when we got the scrolls, when the scrolls finally got translated, especially the Shonin-ki and the Bansen Shukai, that was a wrap. They couldn't tell me nothing. Because a lot of them were selling, these watered down McDojo. I done heard from such and such nonsense and projecting all these cultural memes to try to Japanify it. But Kemet was written all over that. It really was. And when I pointed that out, it was just the salt was everywhere.
He said the Japanify.
The man said Japanify.
Nihongo.
Right. I mean, look, I want you to look at how
that's why they don't like teaching niggas. That's why certain folks don't like teaching
okay, but
niggas
they don't got no problem kneeling the one though. So here you are going into the temple and you're looking at Fudo Myo. Gyogami, you already know where I'm going with that.
Yes, indeed. You see, even the Congo Rikishi, you have the same in the Congo tradition.
So here you are looking at a statue. This dude clearly got an afro, nappy hair. Features look just like somebody from Compton. I mean,
right.
Anyway, go ahead, fam. Good God. I can't.
Man, looking at them like y'all trying to get smart with me while y'all praising this Compton God.
I mean, you like this sometimes, man.
Look, bro, you go around the world and you ask them to show you the statues of their oldest deity, and it don't look like them.
Facts.
You feel me?
All right, listen up. Talk about somebody with no hope. Shout out to Gentile Killer. He says, bottom line, this nation is damned to hell.
As is damned to hell. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that balance must always resonate as true. You know what I'm saying? And those who operate from balance, it you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people are ready for that though. I don't think You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people is ready for, you know what I'm saying, the United States, you know what I'm saying, to be made into an honorable woman. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm gonna hit you with what
Fire lady.
I'm gonna hit you with what King Zulu said.
Yeah.
You warned me about this hell where everybody's gonna be damned to eternal fire. But where I'm from, we eat fire.
We eat fire, motherfucker.
All right.
You motherfucking right.
Right.
Just saying.
We smoke that fire too, goddamn. Just,
You know what I mean? Yeah. On that note, time to hit the motherfucking bleezy.
And on that note, I gotta let y'all know I got my third dislike. So I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Is like I'm not giving y'all some entertainment. So here it is, just for a few seconds. I'm gonna give y'all a bitch twerking, okay? All right, we'll be back after this.
Nigga, you stupid.
You fired. You fired. It's fired like shit.
Oh, that shit, dog.
That's the man of his word right there. That's the man of his
Right.
word.
I'm gonna need him to get that whole pink slip.
That was a bitch twerking for real. Nigga.
Literally a bitch, a female dog.
I mean, and the other dog sitting here like, yeah, I'm gonna leave now. That was hilarious. My God,
I mean, people disliking the program. I'm trying to, I guess, be kind of Obama-like, just trying to get people to like me instead of doing tangible shit. But
look, he ain't have to get motherfuckers to like him. They like that motherfucker because he wasn't a nigga. So it is what it is. Shit.
I mean, but that dude was trying to make everybody happy, and it ended up missing the mark quite a bit. But
the first nigga in the White House got to, nigga.
Okay, but was he though?
Okay, true that.
I mean, we have a term.
Well, hold up. We talking about the court of popular opinion. So to the court of popular opinion, yes. You know
yeah. He's one drop rule certified, but
yeah, I mean.
But I'm just saying, again, I keep saying people recreate what it is they have from where they came from. Nobody has come from the Ados tribe and ran up there yet.
Yeah, but what do we call it a while back, Roger? What kind of black was Obama?
Oh yeah, Obama black. You talking about? Yeah, I mean,
both of y'all ain't shit.
No, wait a minute. I mean, real talk. Obama black was the only type of first black president that was going to live through the term. Everybody knows it's been so many jokes about this over years and years and years. If you put a black person in the White House, he ain't gonna make it out that first term. Let alone nobody even thought about a black man running for a second term. That joke hadn't even came yet because it was an idea that no one even conceptualized. A black man running for a second term because nobody believed he would be alive for a second term.
No, nobody thought he was gonna win. Look, I only voted for the motherfucker because my cousin made me vote for the motherfucker. She's like, it's a black man and you ain't gonna blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, fuck it, so I'll vote for the
Young Jeezy, my president's black.
My president's black, my Lambo blue, nigga.
Right.
Well,
shout out to Riley.
Real talk, cuz.
That clip, man. That clip.
Well, I'm gonna say that that I think a lot of folks kind of voted for Obama because they wanted to be on the they want to be on the right side of history. They didn't want to have a black president actually win and actually do a good job and feel like they didn't vote for the guy. I think that did happen to a lot of black folks, especially that first time. I don't want to be on the wrong side of history and say I was alive during that time and I didn't vote for the black guy and he actually won.
But this is the thing though. People see, and that's where that color shit fuck people's up. People thinking that color shit means something when you gotta look at you gotta look at the chair. It ain't the motherfucker in the chair. It's what does the chair represent? The chair of the United States presidency represent the bullshit, not the motherfucker in the chair. They can get anybody who the fuck they want in the motherfucking chair.
But you gotta understand, fam, like that really was a big deal. Like, what was it? Jesse Jackson was the last time we saw something like that? Almost.
Yeah, but the motherfucker was forced to do that shit. Look at who was in it before him. It'd be different if it was a motherfucker, a competent pilgrim that was in that bitch before him. But that, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Junior was a fucking laughing stock of the whole world, cuz.
Right.
I remember because,
right.
nigga, I was on a fucking replenishing vessel in the Navy with them motherfucking Arab motherfuckers asking us, hey, yo, who's your leader? Who's your leader? And then your ass say Bush, and then they laugh like a motherfucker at your ass.
Hate the you know shoes at your boy.
but you know what though?
They're like, no. Who's your real leader? Who's your leader? And then that shit had me looking at Congress, but then they had me looking at Bush like, you know what? You right, cuz I wouldn't choose this motherfucker to manage nothing that I got, let alone a motherfucking country.
Roger, go ahead.
But check it out though. Check it out though. Okay, just think about it from a very simplistic place. A man who doesn't know his dad well, okay, because his dad lived in another country and he left to go to that country when he was a baby. That person was raised. I mean, look at the age of Obama, and then look at the age of his grandparents. He was raised by white grandparents.
Yeah.
Okay. As old as Obama is, what type of time did his white grandparents live through? Now, you take the mind of those white grandparents who raised them up, you know, and they say he never even dated a black woman before he got to Michelle. So you take the training of those elderly white folks. Did you not get what you voted for? You voted for a man who was raised by elderly white folks from a time that isn't quite in existence right now, from a different time.
They probably call that motherfucker a nigga and said, "Don't ever bring a nigga in this."
Well, I'm saying though, I mean, Obama. I mean, this one. I mean, really, I'm born in the 70s. Obama's older than me. So when was Obama born? 60s?
Yeah.
Maybe 50s, late 50s or something. But it had to be at least a 60. You see what I'm saying?
Barry was bought into the spot white folks to have a feeling of I did good about themselves. Realistically, he didn't do shit for black people, which was apparent. He was a motherfucker, just as Roger said, raised by white folks. This was a man who came on a platform of hope and change, and he didn't change shit. So now, when you look at
some things, he did change some things. He changed, and he gave a certain group of people hope.
All right, well, I'll go with that. But when you look at it, all he is at this point is a talking point for white folks to go. You can't say that America's racist. We had a black president. I voted for Obama, so I'm not racist, and that's the dynamic that white people pushed him into the White House for. That nigga, it couldn't have been a Tyrone Jenkins.
Which was the whole point I was making earlier. Nobody
Jenkins.
from the tribe got up there. President.
It could not have been. Remember what was the movie where Chris Rock became the president and he had Bernie Mac running back?
Head of state.
Head of state.
He was smacking people off the train.
Motherfucker.
Never ever could have ever fucking.
What you know about NATO? I don't know about NATO. You don't know about NATO, nigga.
Nigga, could have never ever happened in this world. Why? Because shit would have got real. So who did they pick? They picked the nigga from Hawaii, which already was suspect in itself, who was raised by white folks and raised by white folks and had an African dad. Nigga, everything about this motherfucking situation was suspect. You think they don't vet the president before he come into position? Oh yeah, well we got a nigga candidate. I don't know about that. He's from Hawaii. Okay, tell me more. He was raised by white people. Oh shit. Okay, what else we need to know? He's African and not from America. Oh nigga, he sounds like prime candidate.
Shout out to Kamala.
Shoot,
Look, they got all this shit here. All this shit here in this shit. They really gotta hate the space. There's way too many facets of jewels being presented from somebody presenting just a basic presentation with things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's crazy, dog. They really gotta hate the space. They really, really, really gotta hate the space. Which, okay, so I gotta ask you this, Nameless. How do you feel with there being a council being created within the space? Personally, I am of the thought that there should have been a council already created within it.
Here's the issue. The Black Manosphere in general, again, is organized in constellations. And while certain individuals operate like asteroids that float between the different constellations in an oscillating pattern, you've got too many people who are diametrically opposed to each other, to the point where I don't know if you can really get a functional, centralized council.
Is that much of a separation to where the underlying principles of the space aren't strong enough?
Let me explain. Number one, it's just like Neely Fuller said. Unless you get Black folks together, organized with a specific goal in mind, you will bring out the inherent conditioning that was fostered on the plantation every single time.
So code doesn't beat out social conditioning.
You have to use a culture to embed that code.
Right.
It's just like your CMOS being compromised. I don't care how much you wipe the hard drive over and over again. Right. If the CMOS is compromised, every time you boot up another set of Windows, you're going to bring in the new conditioning, or rather the old conditioning that never went away in the first place. Because the whole way you're booting it was never adjusted.
I was finna say something about CMOS, but I realized you was talking about CMOS and not actual CMOS that you get out.
Not Irish CMOS.
Not Irish.
I had that in my shake. I had that in my shake earlier.
Yeah, but, me too. By the way. Yes. Yeah.
But
I had cushion my shake.
Yeah, you should.
A little bit of mushroom flavor.
Put that herb and all. But no, I mean that's really the ultimate issue, because you're gonna have too many conflicting ideas where one sun is gonna conflict with another sun in a particular system, and then when two suns collide, what happens? You get a black hole. So, and that's what happens sometimes within the space when you get these huge vacuums of power and everyone's trying to climb up. I think we had an anomaly occur with KS.
Right.
But you already see that the conditioning is really manifesting out the gate. You can trace all of these politics to the plantation. It's why I appreciate Grinch's book, The Ratchet's Rouge. He categorized that as plantation politics, because ultimately that's all that is. You look at the educated lane versus the Pookie and Ray Ray argument. All that is the field Negro mad at who was being the Mandingo. I don't know how else you describe that. But then when you dig in deeper as to how that's really fostered, and you're really talking about a bunch of domesticated dudes. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory, but you are in no position to create a culture where two groups of men can actually function together to achieve a goal. And even when you look at the way cotton was picked, I said this before already on Roger's panel one time. You've got people who are told from sun up, or rather can't see him in the morning, they can't see at night, to pick cotton in a particular row. And the only person that's really driving and bringing everybody together is that damn overseer. You can't help the brother that's there next to you. You can't help the sister that's there next to you. She can't help you. Nobody can help anybody but stand there and pick their lane. And if you don't go fast enough, you get whipped.
So now we come
You
back to
but I'm not done
with
with the comparison, because there's a second half to that.
right.
The corruption of the ritual of Ma'at and Anubis is carried out at the end of the day when you take that sack of cotton and you put it up on that scale against a piece of lead that's supposed to weigh exactly what you're supposed to pay, so that you could get your little drop in the bucket to pay for what you owe as an indentured servant. And if that bag of cotton doesn't move that lead, they take it out your behind. Again, nobody can help you. So everyone's just caught and told to stay in their lane. And don't you understand that there would have been people who have found ways to just be good at it? And so, well, I was able to pick mine. What's the problem? Pick faster. And you hear these same goofy arguments going out in the future now. I mean, I don't know how you deprogram that. When you create an environment where it's emulating that, it manifests itself again. It's why I said any ritual you don't take conscious control over will play itself out subconsciously. How do you deprogram 400 years of that conditioning, family? I don't know how you do it. You have to literally recreate a new culture from scratch. So the idea of a council is something that may happen in another environment, but people have to they need to gain agency over their own constellations first and work on the deprogramming process. Because again, we have so many deep-seated things that are missing. And the fact that we're so strong that we could get by without even needing that really speaks to our strength as individuals. But that's exactly why we're literally unable to compete with anybody in the aggregate, because nobody operates that way. Everybody else has some form of inertia coming from their culture that postures them somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you know
It's the whole tribalism thing. It's like we're defaulted into innovativism because there's no cultural linking anywhere.
Go ahead, Roger.
you got. I think there's a few problems going on, and and I ain't gonna drag nobody, but I'm gonna tell you this one thing that's showing itself, at least as far as what I can see. I'm not gonna say anybody got to be able to see what I can see. That HNIC thing is powerful, and at the end of the day, we have a whole lot of people that want to be a HNIC, some big, some small, and truth be told, a lot of us want to be the HNIC really to impress abroad, not to be the HNIC to do what's best for everybody or to make tough choices that, okay, well, we might have to sacrifice this, but it'll get us hit to this place and all that. A lot of us just want to be the HNIC just because of how we're going to be viewed by some woman.
Roger, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Roger. So with what you just said, and I'm going to go back to the plantation again. Realistically speaking, what would have been the highest expression of manhood for somebody in that position?
Well, honestly, if you can accept that you're gonna have to make some sacrifices that even include you making a personal sacrifice for the good of the group, or a person that can actually stand there and be the man by letting somebody else be the man. Sometimes you can get more done with the other guy thinking he in charge, or with the other guy getting some form of glory. There's some people who just want glory, and if you can use the fact that they want glory to a point where you get them to be productive for the group, you still can win in that direction. I'll let you look good if you do what's good for the group.
Okay, but what I'm saying is there has to be a measure of identification with the group. And what I'm saying, I see a sharp absence of that the non-identification with the group, specifically with other men, and an attempt to gain personal value by virtue of getting acceptance and validation from the women. I see that being the default conditioning, and that other behavior that goes outside of that as an exception. And the only time I see a delineation from that is when we got out of that environment and we were in a military setting by virtue of the Union Army, and we found a new way to identify with each other as soldiers. And that reintroduces the warrior culture, which creates more of those nuances in manhood that you were describing right there, Roger, because that's the difference. Right. Because it's not, it's like, because I think a lot like how you do. I don't necessarily need to be in the front line. I can play the support role if it means the job is getting done. But if no one's going to do it, of course I'm going to go on that front line. Of course I'm going to make sure things are set. Of course I'm going to make sure we're logistically squared away. But it's not that I need to be in the front. We got a mission to accomplish. And I don't care who does it. It just needs to get done. But how do you learn that?
It's a brothers effect. The dynamic with that is people who aren't in a situation where it's either shit or get off the pot, like Roger said, they do it for female attention, or they do it for a sense of grandiose, right? Like that, like they just feel like they're the man, right? But there's no mission to accomplish, and there's nothing at stake. So when they make these failures, they blame it on other things, and they try to escape accountability. But when you're in a situation like military war, right? It's a life or death situation. You have an understanding of if I fuck up, I might die. So you put things aside, you put your pride and your ego aside because you know it's better for the end game because I don't want to die. And that's what it ultimately ends up being. We don't have that as a community.
Hold up, but death is an illusion to a warrior.
No. He's not talking about that. He's speaking about literally the accountability to the others around you. Even if you die as an individual, if that results in someone else dying, that is irresponsibility on your part.
Facts.
And that collective accountability is what you learn in the warrior culture. It's the idea that you do your job to not let the man down next to you. That's what builds the understanding.
That's why the samurai was so profound, because these are motherfuckers who are always constantly in a life or death situation. That's why you have the Harakiri, where the motherfucker's breath was like, listen,
well, hold up. In this current age, there are no more samurai. There's only one.
Well, you know what? Before y'all go too far, and before y'all go too far in that direction, I'm gonna tell you what I see. You know what I'm saying? I see a big issue amongst us as men is we don't have manhood defined outside of women. I'm just gonna keep it plain and simple. I keep trying to push on my channel that manhood is about your character and your accomplishment, and to everybody, well, to at least a good portion of men actually see that. That's why there's certain things and certain arguments people try to make on my show that I don't even allow them to make, because it, you know, just like, I ain't gonna even say his name, but the dude who tried to do it to me Friday, he wanted to argue stuff about women and game and things like that. Now you're trying to turn something to who can get some pussy. As soon as men fall into who can get the most pussy, we already lost. Because you can't focus on the actual mission because you worry about who's gonna get some pussy and who can brag that I hit this chick or that chick. You know, people have stabbed each other in the back over a reputation. Somebody might get this person some pussy, so because they might get this person put. Let me throw a monkey wrench into what they doing. Some people don't like somebody else's success because that man might be able to get some more pussy than I do. There's a lot of stuff I see. And men have to get away from manhood is due to pussy. It's one of the dumbest concepts ever, but we keep pushing in our community all day. And as soon as people don't like what's being said, they gonna say, "Well, you saying that because you don't get no pussy." Do you know how much of a child you have to sound like to even say something that stupid?
But again, on the plantation, you were relegated to the status of boys. So that was my point earlier, bringing that up. If that's the only way you've had to identify manhood, you have to find ways of breaking that up. You were absolutely right in identifying that, Roger, because if you don't learn how to operate outside of that paradigm, then you will never be in a position to compete against other groups of men who don't have that as a weakness.
You got to think of it. So in a going with the conversation you started earlier, namely, we have a warrior culture just kind of genetically imprinted in us, but we don't have a real war to fight. So when you look at the dynamic of where we are as a culture, what is usually pushed in hip hop music and the culture? It's gangbanging, right?
Right.
And what does gangbanging ultimately end up being? One faction versus another faction, red versus blue, green versus yellow, etc. down the line.
Hold up. The start of it was community preservation across the board. People
While that
forget
is
that
very
the
much
first
true,
Bloods were former Crips.
while that is very much true, it
Crip wasn't a
deteriorated
gang. Crip was a context.
community resistant in progress.
You know what I'm talking about? And they made that shit into a gang.
I'm very familiar with it, but it deteriorated into what? Factions.
Facts.
And what the factions have been kind of a sore point in our history, legacy, whatever you want to call it, as a community in the black Americas, because this is what we live our life on. It's red versus blue. And the dynamic with that is motherfuckers sign up to be red versus blue, and fuck that nigga. He came over here. He a Brossy. He crosstown nigga. We can get with that nigga. We can do this, and it's become a war aspect. So this is how we move on with the warrior culture. The problem is rooted in foolishness and everything else. But we haven't delineated from the warrior culture. We just put it into a fucked up situation.
So I'll rock with that because I like the point that you made there. But what I will say is that at the end of the day, look at where the aggression is pointed towards.
Mm.
And that's my issue with the entire thing. It's not that we don't have the potential to do it, because it's why I defined gang culture, the prison system, and the military as pseudo initiations into manhood. But they require a cultural component that grounds you so that you can actually put it to use. Otherwise, you get these feedback loops you're describing.
Practical code.
Very
Well, you
much
know what though?
because the
I
dynamic.
don't. Well, this is my thing about gang culture. Okay, and this ain't a diss to anybody who's been in the gang. But as a person who's never been in the gang, I can't see how it's separated from pussy. These niggas fighting over pussy at the end of the day. I'm sorry.
But let me correct you, Roger. Let me correct you. Well, we gotta. I want to kind of get us out of saying gang culture and say thug culture, because it really goes beyond the organization of gangs right now. Is and
Okay.
generally people are just walking around just being who they are without the presence of an quote unquote organized gang.
Well, I'm speaking
Okay, well-
specifically to people that have to get initiated into a circle. That's what I'm talking about when I say gang
okay.
culture.
Right.
I don't mean
Okay.
people copy and paste and all them. Yeah, I'm rocking. No, I mean people who are from chartered organizations. They
People
have
who get
sets that they're
quoted.
assigned to, actual soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
Okay, well,
And
what I'm speaking
okay.
to is
Okay.
that
Well, I understand
where
that
Roger-
context.
Where Roger
I-
was going with it before it was, and Nameless, was originally what were we doing? We were fighting against white supremacy, right? So
Right.
all of the Crips and the Bloods, GDs, all the way down the line, all of that was fighting against who? White supremacy.
Right.
And then what they did was they made it go
Intel Pro.
your faction versus my faction within the community. So we were already geared up for a war against white supremacy. White supremacy is supreme in the aspect that they were quick enough to figure out, hey, listen, let's get these niggas to stop fighting us and start fighting each other. And if we can flip the dynamic back to where, hey, listen, fuck you white folks, it'd be a whole fucking problem. They don't want that. So what they did instead was what? They had us going at each other. So we can't see the fact that we're fighting a war internally and we should be fighting it externally against white supremacy.
It is if we are operating on the perspective of us being a cultural monolith. That ain't how we operate. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to get people to understand is that we are not a cultural. I thought I said Keith Murray. I was like, yo, hold up, yo, with Keith Murray. Most beautifulest thing in this world. You know what I mean? But yeah, we are not a cultural monolith. You know what I'm saying, Don? We're not a cultural monolith. And the thing is, what it takes for a cultural monolith, I think that has actually been eroded out of our characteristics as a people. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the world, they have that perspective towards which they can operate. Here in the United States, all we got is the skin color. And that ain't enough because people start projecting their class level over, you know what I'm saying, the aspect of their skin color.
Well, what I'm saying is, and I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't know. So I ain't gonna try to put no gangster in a position to make y'all feel some type of way. I'm just trying to figure out what y'all fighting over if it ain't about pussy. Because if you ain't fighting a war against white supremacy, and you fighting so you can drive around a fancy car or buy some fancy clothes as you see them, or to eat out all the time. I mean, they even got it to the point now you can't even really put your money in anything significant. You can't go buy no buildings. You can't put your family on and things like that. So at this particular point in time, because it's about moving drugs and things like that when you really move up into the gangs and all that, from my understanding. So what are you fighting over other than pussy when it come down to it? It seems to me that a bunch of people are
So
fighting so they can be a man. So when pussy come around, he'll have the best chance of getting it.
so
Well, I mean, look at it
ultimately in the
like
80s,
this.
right? When that shit first cracked off. So in the 80s, when that shit first cracked off, because the scariest period for white people was the 70s, right? 70s was black empowerment movement. Motherfuckers was afraid. 60s and 70s, niggas, they didn't know what to fucking do with niggas. So they started to break that shit down. So when crack flooded the block, it wasn't originally about getting pussy. It was about getting yourself in a situation where you can move around. Yes, bitches
And
come from that.
I'm not disrespecting none of the people who actually started that stuff for good reason. I'm just saying nowadays, I don't see nobody
Yeah,
fighting
right,
over nothing other than pussy.
So let me
right. And,
qualify
and,
that.
and that shit broke down eventually down to pussy, because that's what it became in the main run, right? But before that, the whole situation was about controlling your block that you didn't really fucking own, and making moves and doing shit. Because remember the 80s, think about Rick Ross, not the rapper, the real Rick Ross. What was he doing? He was running around buying shit, owning property, putting people in the positions, moving and doing actual legitimate things. And then you had a breakdown from there into the 90s where niggas was like, put rims on cars just to get bitches. It was a different dynamic, but that was some shit that was brought on later on, and
It
based
became
on
business over culture, dog. That's the thing. It became business over culture. In the aspect of culture, you're not going to get 100%. That's what the thug codes was about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, oh, Tupac was a rapper and all this shit. It's like, nah, if y'all read the motherfucking thug codes, you know what I'm saying, for the greater perspective of it, it was actually some decent shit. You know what I'm saying? That would have regulated a decent amount of order within the hood that was completely disorderous at the time.
facts. Bumpy Johnson moving like that.
Feel me?
Frank
You know what I
Lucas.
mean?
But
That
that's
that that
why.
dynamic.
Yeah, that I mean.
But that's why my thing is, I'm not even talking about guys from yesteryear, because I understand that people set things up for a lot of good purposes in yesteryear. I'm saying today, I see people fighting over pussy. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people gonna say, well, sometimes you're fighting over drugs. Somebody stole this guy's money and whatever. Why is all this stuff being moved around at this particular point? Because if I can't go buy the house no more, I can't go buy the buildings no more. I can't go turn it into a legitimate business. If I can't take the money from all this stuff and wash your money clean in a decent enough way, then what am I doing it for?
So I'm gonna blame that on one, hip hop culture, right? Hip hop went from Public Enemy to Lean getting with the bitches. I done fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops, right?
It
And
was
then
always about that, dog. It was always about that. Hey,
no, no,
look,
no.
Bismarcky, she caught the vapors. Come
Yeah,
on, cuz. What you think? What you think that was?
Biz Markie was the start of this shit. But what was we talking about before that? It was black empowerment, fuck the police, shit like that. Yeah, bitches was a part of the music, but it wasn't an emphasis, right? Now it's an emphasis. And then you also have in spades with that, you have a fatherless nation. These motherfuckers didn't know about, hey, listen, fuck that bitch. Go get your money, get this shit together, and the bitches will come. So everything flooded from those two angles into what we have now, which is a culture of get you some money so you can buy a bitch some shit.
So let me, and there's a commonality here I was trying to say earlier. The reason why I called the prison industrial complex, gang culture, and the military in general pseudo initiations into manhood is because we have a disproportionate representation in each and every one of those. And the main driving force is money for the acquisition of women in one form or another, whether it be
Right.
because you want it on the temporary sense or because you're trying to raise a family.
Right.
Yeah, would you say that also about fraternities? You know, like little
Some
Greek organizations such as that
I
as well.
think
fraternities is some gay shit, and
that was a good.
I don't really want to get off into the tangent, but fraternities is some gay shit.
I think I
Uh,
think that has more of an origin in the North with the freed Negroes that got off the plantation and formed what is understood as the Boule. I think
Yep,
they had a totally different
the
rhythm to
Boule, them
what we're
Jack and
talking
Jill
about.
niggas. All of
Yeah,
that shit is stemming from them. Because I've hung out with some Jack and Jill women, some Jack and Jill dudes, some fraternity niggas, and they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And there's a lot of homosexuality wrapped up in that shit, and it really those organizations come from emulating white organizations because those white organizations are really wrapped up in some gay shit.
yeah. I don't think they have much relationship to the warrior culture that we were speaking on earlier. But no, Roger made a good point. And now it seems to be again, these are approximations to manhood, and any approximation to manhood is going to get a response from women. So people are going to engage on it. I mean, if you look at the way people treat folks coming out of prison, other cultures look at this completely different. But you're the only person, we're the only demographic as a whole who, if you come out of prison, there's a measure of it being seen as a rite of passage. And the harder it was, you went through something. And I'm not saying this to disparage anybody that has been caught in the system. I'm not. But what I'm saying is there's a perspective of it that, in a sense, it is encouraged.
It's tied to your manhood. But I will say this: I don't believe that we're the only culture, as Italians, the Irish, Albanians, Russians. They believe in it's a rite of passage, depending on how you go in and how you
But you
come
know
out.
the difference with them and us. The difference with them and us is they do it so that they can continue to find a pathway to legitimize it. And we're the only group that hasn't legitimized any of that. And every time we've tried to, we had whole government organizations get in the way and stop it. I mean, J.
Name us.
Edgar Hoover single-handedly stuffed almost the entire Black Power movement from its inception, starting
But
with
see,
Marcus
but see,
Garvey.
you gotta understand something, fam. That comes from, you know what I'm saying, black folks wanting a piece of the devil's pie.
Well, we're back to social dominance order, right?
We're back to social dominance order.
That's my point. So, like, the point is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, and what I'm saying is, look, I'm not ragging on nobody who did something illegal. Everything in life is about taking a risk. Now, I don't promote guys to do illegal stuff because I know if you get caught and how the system gonna do you if you're black. But I mean, people use, what I'm saying, everybody knows Jay Z used to sell drugs back in the day, and I get it. But Jay Z actually got away with it. Now, am I condemning Jay Z because he sold drugs back in the day? No, I ain't condemning him. Now, if you ask him would I do what he did, no, I wouldn't do that. But he did get away with it. But the thing is, if you take that risk and you get caught, they gonna do everything they can to make sure you never see the light of day again.
Facts.
You're probably gonna do at least 20 years just off top, just because you're a black man in the first place. So the thing is, if you're gonna do something illegal, you got to understand it come with a risk, and if you get caught, you have to be man enough to accept getting caught. A lot of black folks don't know how to man up and just say, "Hey, I got caught," and just take. Because like I never seen like the no snitching thing as a problem because no snitching was really about people that was involved. Black folks want to be so included, so they want to be involved in criminal activity, even though you ain't got nothing to do with criminal activity. No snitching was about people that was involved in the crime. If 6 niggas robbed the bank, them 6 niggas don't tell on each other. No snitching ain't got nothing to do with anybody else outside of those 6 niggas in that particular context. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But people want to include themselves in something, you know. But this is my thing. Selling drugs nowadays, and I've said this to women that I've met, talked to, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? A woman told me her I said, what was she was telling me about her relationship. I said, okay, so you obviously a woman that like losers, and I see that's what the problem is. And she was like, no, he ain't a loser. He do this and he do that. I was like, is he doing anything legal? She was like, no, okay, so he a loser then. No, he ain't a loser because he make a little bit of money. Is he making enough money to buy a home? Is he making enough money to buy a car? Is he making enough money to get away from selling drugs the rest of his life? Is he even attempting to do that? Is he trying to make six figures in drugs so he can get away from that altogether? But no, he just do enough to get by, blah, 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 blah. So he's a loser taking penitentiary chances for no real reward. That sounds like a dumb person to me. Why would you take a penitentiary chance and you're not even trying to get out the game?
You
know what
got to
I'm saying?
understand,
You're a loser.
for women, that it doesn't make them a loser.
No,
Reaching
no,
doesn't
no.
make them a loser.
I was telling her man is a loser.
No. I get that dynamic. The reason it doesn't make them, the man, a loser is because they can foresee immediate gains from that, right? Motherfucker, maybe on average selling crack is like making a minimum wage job in today's era, right? You're not really making a whole bunch of money. You just really serving motherfucking product out to motherfuckers. And you
That
always
nigga was selling weed.
right, but just whatever it is, whatever the drug is,
Roger ain't giving
he's
no
selling
shit.
it out and you make it on a quick run, right? So at a certain time, he might come up on a lick, and it's enough to do what? Buy that bitch a purse, buy that bitch her nails, do some other thing. So it's an immediate gain. Whereas you dealing with a nigga who has a regular 9 to 5, and he's got to be cautious with his money. He's got to be careful with his money and move actually correct and do some things in the proper channel. That nigga's a loser. Why is he a loser? Because he can't take that bitch to Roof Chris on a Friday night because he came up on a lick. You know what I'm saying? This is the dynamic.
But there's another currency to that too, because at the end of the day, what they're addicted to is the lifestyle. So we're back again to this idea that she's getting this constant stimulation. She's getting an approximation to manhood. And at the same time, she's the one that's maintaining the power in the relationship because it's him animated by the incentive to go out and do these things. And she just has to sit there and receive. So like, this is what I'm talking about. The wiring for it, the algorithm is exactly the same. There is very little difference as far as the neurology is concerned with following the pseudo initiation of gang culture, following the pseudo initiation of prison culture, and following the pseudo initiation of the current modern military. That's what I'm talking about. We engage it with the same intentions and we get the same results overwhelmingly for a majority of us. But it ends up being one of the only options for us to engage in manhood as it's understood by the culture. But when we take that step back outside the culture and we look at it for what it is, we can come to the same conclusions that Roger is. It's just that the overwhelming majority of us have to usually suffer first before we recognize how much of a trap it essentially is, which is why it probably got its name with regards to that. But no, Rock is 100% correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that once I got done talking to her, you know, she felt some type of way because I had clearly laid out how she and him were both losers, and that's why she having problems now. And you know, you basically complaining to her. Now I ain't know her, so she's basically a stranger. But I talk to people, and they open up to me, especially strangers tell you just about anything too. So I basically laid out the fact that he's a loser because he taking penitentiary chances, and he ain't even trying to make enough money to get out the
God
game.
damn, Roger.
Hey, bro, it is what it is. I can't help the fact that
I
man
mean, I
chose to
get
be a
it.
loser.
I get it, but god damn, like that's
Bro,
that's
look,
that's
Roger,
stepping over the line. That's stepping over the
Oh,
line.
okay.
Roger
Well,
got the gentlest gorilla pimp hand you will ever experience in your life.
I mean, that's reality, motherfucker. Unless
It's
you're
facts,
up
though.
here moving tons and keys, it's not worth what you actually are doing. And everybody has this dynamic and this mindset of I'm moving, $300 worth a week of product. I'm eventually gonna get big time, and I'm moving keys. I'm gonna buy an island. No, nigga, you're not. It's just not fucking gonna happen.
well, my thing is too. It's not only that he was a loser because he taking penitentiary chances over small change at the end of the day. Because drug dealing supposed to be something big time. So I'm sorry, but if you're not, and I literally say this to, I say so you dealing with a man who ain't making as much as me with a legitimate job. You know what I'm saying? I do legitimate stuff. I don't do illegal stuff. I do legitimate jobs. Okay. And I ain't taking no penitentiary chances. And you with a nigga who's taking penitentiary chances and he out there doing the same thing every day and he might get caught on any given day and probably get slapped with at least 20 years over something that ain't gonna change nobody's life. This sounds like a complete idiot to me. Now, I got to look at you for dating the dummy. Okay, if you're dating a man that's that dumb that he can't even make above what regular people make, you have to be dumber than him. You're saying that I ain't even smart enough to even go with the drug dealer who's trying to move big weight, who's trying to change his life, who's trying to somehow figure out how to buy his own hood with
shit.
this, or wash his, or I'm gonna get enough money and I'm gonna start a laundromat or something. And I ain't gonna have to do this stuff no more. No, you with the nigga that's guaranteeing he gonna have to sell next week, next month, next year, and the next decade, because this nigga ain't trying to actually accomplish nothing. Y'all are two complete idiots, and yet you trying to figure out why you having problems in your relationship. It's probably because you're stupid.
And let me follow that up. The only thing that man can do is make your stomach look like balled up homework. That's it.
Bro, he couldn't. It wasn't even that, because I asked her that too. I asked all that. So I said, what did
You answer that. Did your
bro,
stomach look like balled up homework?
no, well, not that,
Oh.
that way. I say, dude must have a 12-inch dick, huh? She like, no. Oh, so he ain't even got no 12-inch dick, and you wish to somebody this dumb? See,
Hey,
I would
Roger.
understand it if he did,
Pause.
because I get it. You're a woman. I understand it. But if you telling me he just a regular dude in every single fashion, yet you still with a person who ain't smart enough to sell enough drugs to at least try to change his life, you a complete idiot.
It's a thrill aspect to it. At any moment, the fans open the door and you hold down, right? She's going to be completely absolved of anything that she could have possibly done as a wrongdoing, but she's going to benefit from it. There's so many reasons these women love this shit, and it's not fun, but they chase after it like, this motherfucker is a doctor or a
Dude
lawyer
wasn't
or
making
some
no
shit.
money though. Dude wasn't making no money, bro. Like, I understand risk versus reward. Dude wasn't making no money.
Right, but they love the thrill of this shit. So yeah, dude's not making any money, but any moment he can come home with enough money to buy her some shit that's stupid. Cause like again, a sensible
Not
nigga.
that nigga.
Okay, so if you dating a chick and you got a job and it's just like, hey, listen, I want this bag and I want to do this. The nigga with the fast money is gonna spend it. I'm gonna be like, bitch, okay, well you got a job, go ahead and get that shit done. Right?
Bro,
All right.
It's the
I
difference
get what you're
between
saying.
common sense and
Bro, I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is I do stuff for people. I get little jobs here and there. I do stuff. If you selling drugs and you ain't making more than me, what's your point? That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying, bro.
because the reward should like the risk should the risk should be worth. I mean, the reward should be worth. I don't fucking know. Risk and reward. Let's just put it
Right.
like
The
that.
reward should be worth the risk.
If it's not
but,
worth the risk, then what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but even
That's why I say
then, think
I
about how many
get
times
Jay
you see
Z,
a
because
$300
Jay
drive.
Z was moving weight. I get Jay Z, because I said, this nigga making like 6 figures moving. No, is he making 75K? No, is he making 50K? No. What's your point?
That nigga is probably making more than the nigga who it looks like he's making more, should I say, than the nigga who works at McDonald's, right? The nigga who works at McDonald's is probably coming home with a $600 a month, a $600 check every 2 weeks. The nigga who is moving dope, even though he may be making less than that nigga, he's re-upping with that money. So it's all cash. It looks like it's more. He gonna flash it in front of the bitch. The bitch gonna get an impression. She gonna think about the shit. It's fast money. And ultimately, he's making less than the nigga at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But it looks like
all he got to show for it is a rhinestone T-shirt
Well, I mean, all he got to show for is a broad that's dumb.
and a
If
gas
you
station
sell
watch.
if you sell drugs and you end up with a dumb broad, if that's all you get for your penitentiary chances, you need to reevaluate your situation. That's all I'm saying.
all right, Roger. Let me ask you this: how many smart bitches do you know out here in this? It's not many. So
Roger cold blooded, cuz. Yo,
it's
you
not
a
many
cold,
smart bitches.
cold motherfucker. Yo, what part of Chi-Town you from? What part? North, south, east, west? Where you from?
Let's just say I hung out in dangerous areas.
Okay, yeah.
All
Okay.
right,
Roger
all right.
from
But
Oakland.
listen up.
Southside.
Hey, but listen up, fellas. Listen up.
He ain't got with no dirt.
Let me slow everybody down. Let me give some shout outs first. Shout out to Y Skinner Man Cave, Damon Glass, Derek Mills. Thank you for joining. But guess what, fellas?
Closing time.
It's
Wrap up.
closing time. It's wrap up. We're at the 3.5 hour mark.
The clock
And
says checkout time. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
your boy is tired. So, first off, I'd like to thank everybody that participated in the chat, and thanks for contributing as always. And gentlemen, final statements.
Okay, well, I'll make mine first. Look, I'm not you know what I'm saying, anybody who's ever sold drugs, I know there's plenty of black men that done did it or dabbled in it somewhere at some point in time. I understand there's some stuff that's viewed as legal, some stuff is viewed as illegal. I don't promote that you should do that because I understand it's illegal. And if you get caught as a black man, they're gonna try to hit you as hard as they can. So my thing is, if you're gonna do it, at least try to be like a Jay-Z. And you know, if you get caught, you get caught, but at least do it where you're gonna at least attempt to change your life. But why deal in that type of activities if you're not trying to change anything? And if your reward from doing all that stuff is just some dumb broad, like, bro, how is that worth it to you? How could you look at her and say she's worth me giving up 20, 30, 40 years of my life if this the best I can get is a dumb broad? Because if you moving a little bit, you asking for trouble at the end of the day. So maybe you need to be ruthless and break up with that broad and go deal with a regular chick who like a dude with regular money, so you ain't taking penitentiary chances and figure out how to make some big money so you can come up a legal way and actually keep what you got. Because if you do get caught and you go to prison, ain't nobody gonna have nothing for you when you get out 9 times out of 10. Ain't nobody gonna save your money, whatever little bit you got. They ain't gonna save it for you till you get out. They probably ain't gonna even put it on your books. So what's the purpose? Do what's gonna be good for you at the end of the day. If it ain't gonna make sense for you, why are you wasting your energy with it? And for all the dumb bras out there, if you messing with a dude that's in that lane, if that dude ain't making 6 figures at least, you an idiot too. And guess what? If you get caught, you know what? I ain't gonna wish nothing bad on. I say I hope you get caught while he with you, but I ain't gonna wish nothing bad on post.
That go for
It's
them
all good.
niggas
I'm
with
gonna
the
leave it right
PPP
there.
loans
I'm gonna
too.
leave it alone. I'll see
That
y'all
go for them
tomorrow
niggas with the
if y'all
PPP
come to
loans.
my show. I'm
All
gonna
right,
leave it alone.
Roger. And check out the Roger Report live every Monday through Friday morning. Really good stuff going on. So check him out and long live the habitual line stepper. So who's up?
And I'm gonna say shout
Long
out to
live.
Information Man. I see him in the chat. Shout out to Information Man.
Yeah, information man. What's going on? Thanks for stopping by.
All right,
So
so let me get my next. Long live the habitual line steppers. Thank you, gentlemen, for the sharpening as always. Um, when it comes to the whole aspect of hope, y'all hear me? I don't know. A lot of y'all probably thinking niggas just joking, nigga drunk, nigga high, whatever the fuck. Nah. Just, go ahead and think in your worst scenario. What motherfucker be thinking of the present, and that's where it is. You know what I'm saying? My midichlorian count is a little bit higher than most. Y'all know what that means. You know what I'm talking about? So, um, I'm just here to learn. You know what I'm talking about? I appreciate the sharpening that my brothers give me. Um, but anything outside of bloodlust, I really ain't really understanding because right now it seems like that's the main tool that everybody using. But coming back to the hope thing, hey, y'all who got y'all hope, I really want y'all to get at me and show me how y'all got that hope. You know what I'm saying? Based off what? Do you think you're gonna preserve some shit in this chronic ass motherfucking social system? Whatever. It is what it is. Um, but yo, I'm here to learn. You know what I'm talking about? Forever student, forever a motherfucking student. So as always, y'all stay safe, stay strong, take care of yourself, and don't get that motherfucking vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Peace.
all right, Rogish. Thank you. And I will say something in response to a couple things you said. I would like you said something about being drunk and high. Like I always appeal to people's nature. I never usually altered state of mind as an excuse. I didn't use it when I was drunk myself, and when I partake myself. So it all depends on the mind of the person that we're dealing with, and at the end of the day, with any of that stuff. But thank you as always, Rogish.
Yes, sir.
For gracing us with your presence as always, and you add so much energy to this to this program. Like seriously. So whoever wants to go next.
I'll go ahead and jump in.
All right, Nameless.
Yeah, I mean, passage I read earlier, maybe you guys can hear it on the playback. That's my stance on it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, in order to pick up something new, you got to have both hands empty. So, for whatever you pick up, you got to be willing to let it go. And the only way you do that is just with resolute acceptance of the truth and what is. And as long as you focus on that and do the best that you can to be as honest as you can, specifically with yourself and with the world around you, you may find it's a lot easier to bear with a lot of these things, because you'll be surprised at what presuppositions you bring to the table that's completely warping what it is you're looking at, especially if what you're looking at is the future. And really doing that self-introspection to ask, what in the world do you really even want in the first place? You'd be surprised how much of what you're going after were things that were programmed into you at the age of 7 and earlier. You'd be really surprised. So it's definitely worth it to kind of do that introspection work, do that personal work. Used to be a requirement to become an adult, but now that you know, it's up to you to figure it out and really stay true to that, because nobody knows who you are but you. Don't make the mistake of trying to figure out who you are from other people.
Facts.
But last thing I just want to say, 2 more subscriptions and I'll be at 1,000. So I'm going to be opening the dojo on a regular basis. And, you guys are definitely welcome to come through when I host panels and kind of talk about some of these things. A lot of the themes I really want to focus on are kind of rooted in the idea of introspection. Because I still think in order to know where you need to go, you have to know where you've been. And you're not going to know where you've been if you don't understand where and who you are. So that is a very big central theme I really want to explore, and going into other perspectives outside of the West and really tie, a different cultural narrative that could be useful to folks who are only used to being inundated from what you get in school and what you get in your immediate environments. I really want to take advantage of the fact that we're online in these spaces with so many different perspectives. I don't think we've had a true opportunity for the first time to sit down and communicate, because even where we live at right now, if we were as a group the way we are, unless we were in church, it's very unlikely we'd have the opportunity to sit down in the numbers we are and just chop it up like this without being interrupted by the gynocracy, the police, somebody. So we definitely need to respect the space for what it is on an intrinsic level, which is time to sit down and chop it up with each other. And that's the theme of the dojo, or what I'm calling the hidden village. So everybody's welcome. Catch playbacks if you like. Any suggestions, I'm definitely open to. You guys got my email, got my IG. Most of y'all just hit me up. I'll be there. But to the chat.
Nameless. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You do a lot of video edits, right?
I can.
Okay. What I'm saying is you're almost at 1,000, and that's what I was saying is what an accomplishment that is, that you're able to do that and not do too many streams. So.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you got to thank the Black Man Set at the end of the day, because they're the ones that support a lot of people in the space. So to get to 1,000 now, and Nameless, we put your channel again. I got to double check what I'm subscribed to. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll drop it in the chat.
I probably might give you that 1,000. So just put it in there. All right.
Okay, well, definitely thank you for that, Nameless Protagonist, and yeah, he just put his link in his chat. So go ahead and check him out, and if you're not sub to him, sub so he can go ahead and get to that. So he can go ahead and break that 1K, because it's cool shit. And he's actually the one that dropped so many gems that it'll be a great decision for you to sub his channel. So definitely check him out in Oos. So okay, so Chaos Rain, Gilgami, Donnie.
Well, can I say I'm actually going through my because I got 3 channels. I'm trying to see if I got any channel that isn't already subscribed to him right now, so he can go ahead and get that 1,000 out the way.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
Appreciate that, fam.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe because I don't think I'm subscribed to. So that should hit you at 1K. But yeah, I'm just check out you and shit for watching. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. It was a good convo.
All right, Donnie, and long live the habitual line steppers, brother.
Long live.
Yeah. All right.
Long live.
Okay. So Gilgami, you there?
Making sandwiches.
Making a sandwich or counting sheep? One of them. So Chaos Rain.
What's good? Man, what can I say? Shit. I don't have really much to say. Y'all talked about a lot of things today. Shit. I'll say long live the Bishop Line Semper.
It's always good to say.
Right, long live.
Long live.
That's a very important phrase. In fact, one of the most important. So
The most important phrase in social media.
The most important phrase in social media. So it's time for me to speak. Not going to be very long. Yeah, when I came up with this, I would say I was full of hope and optimism growing up. I always thought that the future would be a great thing, that things would be together once I got here. And once I did get here, I realized that I was lied to about a great many things. And I didn't exactly appreciate it, but I also took it as lessons. Nameless was exactly 100% factually correct. Factually, it's very loose when I say this, but don't let other people define who you are.
You making sandwiches, brother? My bad. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. It's the nature of a live program. Hot mics and all that shit. So, I will say this: I've lost most of my hope, but I haven't completely lost hope. That's why I'm able to come to you guys each week and offer up these conversations. And looking at the little person that runs around in my house, that's my little ray of hope and my little ray of sunshine right there. So I can say that's enough from day to day. In order to be able to deal with the stupidity that plagues our everyday lives. So. Anyway, yeah, just work on being a better ruthless nice guy, and I would say take these conversations and learn from them, because all this info and all these gems we dropping at our fingertips pretty soon, there's not going to be any excuse if you go out here messing up, because we telling you, we told you, and now you can take this, and whatever we say, and it's up to you how you want to carry yourself from day to day each week. But be careful with that hope thing, because it's like I was saying earlier, you definitely can't live on hope. So just another Any Given Sunday is finished, and thank you to all the panelists and all the super chats that I received this weekend, and the cash apps are really appreciated, and very importantly, new subs and the people who participate in the greatest chat in the world. I thank you as well. The greatest chat on social media. Like I said, you're probably just as much a part of the show as the panelists here. And these are some great minds that come to these panels. Anyway, thanks for making it happen. Long live the habitual line steppers. And Kev, we trust. See you guys next week or sooner, maybe. We'll see. So, all right, goodbye.
Nameless, you got your 1K. You got your 1K now, so you should be good.
All right, so congratulations, Nameless, on 1K, and continue moving forward.
Absolutely appreciate that, everybody.
All right. All right. So, like I said, long live the habitual line steppers. See y'all next week.